Now with Lidl Plus, collect points that you can turn into possibilities. Pepper abilities, pasta abilities, burrata abilities, kayak abilities. So collect and spend your Lidl Plus points on hundreds of rewards or money off coupons. Lidl, more to value. Exclusions apply for T's and C's. Lidl.co.uk/LPTV 18+ GB only.
What's on TV? The answer is a lot. There's never been more choice over what to put on the box with an abundance of great new shows, but you can miss them all if you don't know where to look. And that's where the Pilot TV podcast comes in, your essential guide to every show that matters. Each week we sift through the very best in prestige TV to help you decide what's worth spending your time on and what isn't. So join me, James Dyer, as well as venerable TV critics Boyd Hilton and Kay Ribeiro, and let us help take the stress out of your downtime. The Pilot TV podcast, because you can't watch everything.
You can't do much in under 5 minutes. Boil an egg? Sure. Cook a roast dinner? No chance. But comparing car insurance prices with mustard.co.uk? Easy. See what you could save in just a few minutes. Click mustard.co.uk. Authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. See website for details.
The Clyde One Super Scoreboard Podcast with White and Mackay, full of half-formed and loudly voiced opinions. It's like your local pub on Clyde One. Smoothly does it. Last night, the leaders dropped points at Motherwell, giving the Old Firm a title boost.
The Celtic bench explodes with joy.
Yusuf Shamiti with an unbelievable overhead kick.
I'll love you till the day that I die.
For the most important Old Firm clash in years.
Rio Hatate squeezed the ball past the Rangers goalkeeper. Mikey Moore glanced home across and James Tavernier.
Till the day that I die.
Everything and more to play for. Live from Celtic Park, this is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Good morning and welcome to Clyde One Super Scoreboard for the final Old Firm game of what's been an incredible season. These meetings are always big, and so is this one, but in a different way to normal. Hearts leave the door open last night for Celtic, or maybe even Rangers to take advantage today. What will happen in the sunshine in the east end of Glasgow? For Celtic, they simply must take advantage of that heart slip, and for Rangers, Danny Rule really could be doing with a win to stave off the criticism he's received after falling apart after the split. I'm Gordan Duncan, and joining me in the studio, you've got Gordon Dalziel, Cammy Bell and Hugh Keevins.
This is as raw as it gets in the Old Firm's parallel universe. If Martin O'Neill wins 3 football matches in a week, he takes the league title in miraculous fashion. But if Danny Rule wins today, Celtic are out of the league race in nightmare fashion. And given the season that we've had so far, anything, and I mean anything, could happen at Celtic Park.
Yeah, I agree with you, Hugh. We never know what's going to this fantastic year of football is going to throw up next. Gordon quite rightly says Hearts opened the door last night for Celtic. Can Celtic walk through that door? It's going to be interesting. The Rangers manager goes to Celtic Park. He's absolutely no chance of the league, but he's under severe pressure for his job from the Rangers fans. But what an exciting afternoon we've got.
Huge expectation on the Celtic faithful looking at it today. Massive, as you mentioned, the door's open now for Celtic to take that opportunity. Can they take it today? But Rangers, Daz mentioned it, Danny Rule needs a result after the 2 disappointing results against Motherwell and Hearts, so I'm really looking forward to today.
Let's go to Celtic Park. We are just over 10 minutes away from kickoff. Andrew Maclean will bring us all the team news, and alongside him is Scott Allan.
Yeah, the sun is shining here at Celtic Park. They've had a pre-match DJ on. It genuinely feels like a party atmosphere, but that will all disappear in 13 minutes time when this game kicks off, and that excitement, I'm sure, will turn to nerves for the 60,000 home support and the 2,200 away support for Rangers and everyone watching and listening at home. Let's get straight into the team news, shall we? Because it always is so important on days like this. One change for Celtic from their win against Hibs last time out. Out drops Sebastian Tinekti, and in comes Luke McCowan. Viljami Sinisalo then continues in goal. There's a back four of Alistair Johnston, Austin Trusty, Liam Scales and Kieran Tierney. A midfield three of Callum McGregor, Arne Engels and Benjamin Nygren. It looks as if Luke McCowan will be playing out wide, which he did on a couple of occasions successfully in Martin O'Neill's first interim spell this campaign. Yang on the other side, Daisen Maeda plays through the middle. The substitutes: Doohan, Iheanacho, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Tinekti, Sirachi, Hatate, Murray Forrest and Ralston. For Rangers, 3 changes for them. Sterling and Skov Olsen drop to the bench. Interestingly, Nico Raskin out the squad altogether. In come Tuur Romans, Connor Barron and Oliver Antman. His last league start was the 30th of November, but he's straight in at Celtic Park today. Jack Butland in goal for Rangers today. The back four: James Tavernier, Nasser Jiga, Emmanuel Fernandez and Tuur Romans. It'll then be Tochi Chukwani and Connor Barron as the midfield two. Oliver Antman, Mohamed Diamandi and Mikey Moore in behind Yusuf Chermiti. The substitutes for Rangers today: Kelly, Sterling, Aarons, Magoma, Asgard, Gassama, Bairami, Miovski and Skov Olsen. The referee is Nick Walsh. The VAR is John Beaton. Next to me is Scott Allan. Looking at that team news, Scott, probably the most interesting for both teams is in those wide areas.
Yeah, I think Luke McCowan came in there. I think Martin will be wanting him to come inside the pitch and slip the balls through to Daisen Maeda, who looked to play in the shoulder of the two Rangers centre halves. Ant-Man coming in. Listen, Danny Rose tried Gassama, it's not worked. Tried Skov Olsen during the week, didn't work. So it's now an Ant-Man to come in. You talk about how long ago it's been since his last start in the league, so it sounds more hopeful that he's going to produce something than something that he's been willing to do in recent months. So a huge game for both sides for me. Celtic have the chance to put the real squeeze on Hearts, and Rangers owe their fans a performance. Obviously since the split started, poor against Motherwell, disappointing second half against Hearts. They have to show up today.
Kick-off at Celtic Park is just 10 minutes away.
Let's start with the away side, Gordon, because I feel like if there was any one standout piece of team news, it probably is just about that. The fact that Oliver Antman, as Andrew quite rightly says, just doesn't play a lot of football. Scott Allan puts up a strong case. It's not like you've dropped an informed Skov Olsen or an informed JD Gassama for it, so in that regard it's not a huge deal, but to start this one after all this time is still a bit of an eyebrow raiser, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit surprising. I don't think Amy would have probably called that, Gordon, this afternoon. I know what Scott was saying about he's tried Gassama, he's tried Skov Olsen. Ant-Man's had a go as well.
Not really though, he's not started a league game since the end of November.
His first game, I remember his first game, he was on fire and you're thinking what a sign this is, and then he dropped off a cliff and he's been absolutely terrible since then. So I think the managers just looked and thought, do you know what, back to the merry-go-round, we'll go with you from the start, we'll have a go. Also the big news for me is I thought that Sterling would have been a certainty to start this afternoon at Celtic Park away from home. He's went back to the Rangers captain Tavernier, and I'm a massive fan of Tavernier. I think this is a guy that's really under severe pressure and he's crossing his fingers and he's hoping for big performances.
Yeah, he's looking for a formula to try and win the game, because you're right, the last 2 games was certainly a huge disappointment for Rangers. I'm completely taking on the title race, so there's no getting away from it. Ant-Man is a huge surprise today. You're right, Daz, I think you make a good point. He has had the opportunity as well, probably not for a long period of time. The wide areas have been so disappointing for Rangers, so he's thrown him in there. He's obviously seen something in training from him recently to give him the opportunity. And yeah, listen, he's got the chance today. Can he do something? We'll soon see.
It's always good, Hugh, in the morning of these games. There's always something. There's some sort of surprise or talking point from the team news, and there are a couple in there.
Yeah, Celtic's team news that Martin O'Neill has obviously taken one look at Tinekti and thought, nah, I need better than that, and I need him to come on and make an impact as he did at Kilmarnock on one of those days when Martin O'Neill got away with a dramatic late victory. Tinekti started it off by scoring, Orojo finished it by scoring in time added on. Tinekti, impact sub. Kelechi Iheanacho, impact sub. Celtic going with Luke McCowan to see if he can replicate what he has done before for Martin O'Neill. It's a huge afternoon for Celtic because, as I say, 3 wins. It's a very easy statement. 3 wins and Martin O'Neill wins the title. Amazingly. But 3 games. Rangers, Motherwell, Hearts. The drama begins and could end today if Celtic don't win.
Yeah, Scott Allan, we said the fascinating thing about this game was that the tone was going to be set last night. How rare is it that a meeting between these sides is impacted upon so heavily by another game? If Hearts had gone to Fir Park, a difficult venue, won 3-0, what a statement it would have been. Celtic fans would maybe turn up with their tails between the legs a bit today. But do you sense they come here with a bit of optimism, an opportunity they believe they can take advantage of?
Yeah, I think for me the feeling around the stadium is of huge expectation today. I think they feel after they win today it's then on to Hearts again during the week. The pressure then becomes for Hearts without a Halkett who's been their best centre back all season. He'll be missing. The pressure then goes on to Hearts again. There's no getting away from that. Can they then deal with the pressure? Celtic on the flip side have a real difficult task ahead of them at Motherwell, but I think today for Celtic it's just about getting the win, 3 points. I don't think we're going to expect a great performance over 90 minutes because we haven't seen it all season, but what they've been doing of late under Martin O'Neill is winning games and picking up 3 points. So the atmosphere has been incredible. I know Andrew spoke about that DG set for the game. The Dazzler would have loved it, but the atmosphere is electric and there's huge expectation here today from the Celtic fans.
I'm interested in the degrees of potential failure for both, but for Rangers because that's been the focus this week, Scott, where we're conditioned here to thinking winning the league is a success, not winning the league is failure. And as true as that may be, like I say, there's still degrees there for Rangers where win today, finish second, ruin Celtic's chances, Champions League qualification, show some fight before the end of the season. That will be very different for Danny Rule than lose today, go out with a whimper, tail off towards the end of the season. You know, he's still got a lot to play for even if they can't win the league, does he not?
Absolutely. I think this game comes with that for Danny Rule. They have to go and try and win the game for me. Listen, second's a disaster, but if Rangers were to finish third this season it'd be catastrophic. If you're looking at the amount of business they've done this year, the money they've spent, the 49ers come in at the start of the season, Danny Rule needs a performance today, and so do the Rangers players. They have to show up. There has to be someone who wants to take that responsibility to go and win the game, because since the splits happened and the pressure's been on, Rangers just haven't stood up to that pressure.
What do you make of the fact that there's no Nico Raskin? I've seen a real split in opinion on this already, where he has had some big performances in this fixture, Scott. He is one of the first names in the team sheet, so in general terms that would be seen as a blow. I've seen plenty of other Rangers fans say he's actually been a real disappointment recently, and maybe his absence won't be felt as much as other people think it will.
Yeah, I think I would be on that boat. I don't think he's been consistent at all throughout this season, but I think people always revert back to the fact that he's had some great performances against Celtic. But I think it's a real opportunity. Connor Barron coming back into the side before he got his injury, he was one of the best midfielders in that Rangers side, so he's got the task today of getting on the half turn and trying to get Rangers playing. So I understand Raskin is a loss, but what an opportunity for Connor Barron again.
You always look at match winners in these fixtures. Yusuf Chermiti has had criticism at times. He's shown what he can do, though. Goes without saying, Danny Rule could do with him having one of his bigger afternoons.
Yeah, well, last time out here he was fantastic on the day, so he'll be coming into this game with confidence. I think at the same time the Celtic defenders will know if they do give him a sniff, especially in these sort of at this environment where he has shown over the course of a season that he can take his chances. You're expecting a big performance. The price tag's always going to be a talking point. The goal return hasn't matched that. There's no getting away from that. But in the big games, whether it's against Celtic at Hearts, he's been a go-to man for Rangers.
On the flip side of that, then, in the attacking department for the other team, great debate all week about, in fact for a couple of weeks, so many people say Ian Atch was the best striker, he's the deadliest finisher, therefore he has to play. Clearly Martin O'Neill thinks he just does not offer enough in terms of the overall performance throughout a 90 minutes.
Yeah, there's no getting away. He is the best instinctive finisher that they have, but in a game like this with such magnitude and what's lying ahead for Celtic, if they were to win today, you need every man out of possession doing the work for the team. Iheanacho just can't get to the levels because he hasn't played enough, he isn't fit enough. But what you can rely on is him coming on maybe the last 15-20 minutes of the game. If there's a chance created for him, you would put your hat on him scoring. So I think the Celtic have two players, Iheanacho and James Forrest, who you would expect to see in the latter stages of the game, who we've seen over the course of the last couple of months can come on and impact the game?
It is impossible to not analyse James Tavernier on days like this. He's played in so many of these games, Scott. He's had some big moments in them. He's been criticised loads of times in them as well, and this will be his last one today.
It'll be his last one, and yes, he's had some memorable ones, but he's also been at fault for a lot of goals coming in at the back post on his blind side. You look at Monday defensively, I felt at times he could have done better, so he is the captain. He scored some amount of goals for Rangers, but I think today, first and foremost, he has to go out and defend properly, because Rangers, looking throughout their team, they're not a team full of confidence off the back of the 2 defeats. But there's no hiding place today, there's no hiding place in this fixture.
Well, some experience in this fixture. Callum McGregor about to lead Celtic out for the 48th appearance in this famous old fixture for him. James Tavernier alongside him. Andrew and Scott will take us up to kick-off.
Yeah, as you say, Nick Walsh, the referee, is the first man onto that Celtic Park pitch, flanked by his 2 assistants, and then it is the Celtic and Rangers teams making their way over to that William Hill Arch. There are pyrotechnics going off on the pitch, and there is a tifo over in that north curve corner where the Green Brigade normally sit. It says we'll fight it out until the end. It's got an image of a boxer there as well. I then look over to my right and I see the Rangers supporters. Many of them are dressed in black today, and interestingly, despite the fact that there was that big ticket dispute over the last few weeks, there is a banner right at the front of that Rangers support that says the Union Bears on it. So I'm hoping today, Scott Allan, that we will just be talking about the football rather than anything that's going on with the supporters.
Yeah, well, what I did notice on the way into the stadium, the police presence was tenfold what there was at Ibrox that day. We want the football to do the talking. So the atmosphere in the ground's fantastic, isn't it? Both ends of the stadium, and so much riding in this game for both teams. So I'm hoping we see a good match. Goals first and foremost, and there's going to be a lot of pressure on both sides.
Yeah, so much tension, so many nerves for those on the pitch, for those in the stadium, for all of those around the country that have their eyes on this game. You'll never walk alone is playing through the tannoy. The Celtic fans are standing up, they have their scarves in the air as Kickoff is about to approach. I'll run through those starting 11s again for you. Viljami Sinisalo in goal for Celtic today. It's in the back 4 of Alistair Johnston, Austin Trusty, Liam Scales and Kieran Tierney. The midfield 3, Callum McGregor, Benjamin Negrin and Arna Engels, with Luke McCowan and Yang either side of Dyson at Maeda. For Rangers, Jack Butland as expected in goal for them. The back 4, James Tavernier, Nasser Jiga, Emmanuel Fernandez and Stuart Romans. It will then be Tochi Chukwani and Connor Barron, the 2 holding midfielders. Oliver Antman, a surprise inclusion in that attacking phase for Rangers. Mohamed Diamandi and Mikey Moore, the other 2 that are in behind Yusuf Chermiti, who has a very good goal scoring record in big games. And you look at the other side, Dyson Maeda has been in top form over these last few weeks, and it'll be so much about the start that these teams get. It's a cliche, you need to start these games well, but it's a cliche for a reason, Scott Allan.
It is, but in this season I don't think it actually fits the fixture. You look at Celtic here, first half they were unplayable under Wilfred Nancy, second half Rangers came out and got the 3 points. So I just think whoever defends better on the day and take their chances. There's a lot of expectation on Dyson Maeda, of course there is. He has been the catalyst for Celtic of recent weeks with that press leading from the front. But there's still obviously a question mark. He had a couple of chances last week at Easter Road he didn't take, and then he eventually gets one. He won't get as many today, I wouldn't imagine, but both sides, Chermiti, Maeda, both massive expectation on both. But honestly today, Andrew, I don't think even the first goal decides where this fixture's going to result.
Well, it's Connor Barron that is standing over the ball at the centre circle, and he gets us underway for Celtic against Rangers at Celtic Park.
Lots of men out there want to feel more confident in the bedroom. In fact, 1 in 5 men have issues as they get older. That's why MedExpress is here to provide support in minutes through a free online consultation. By completing the short online consultation, they'll suggest the right treatment for your concerns, all from the comfort of your home. And you know you're in the right place. They've been one of the country's leading online pharmacies since 2013 with over 1.5 million customers. Their UK-based clinical team will support you every step of the way and send your medication straight to your door. And the best bit is the whole process is online, so you don't even have to visit your GP. So no more planning or pressure, just confidence when you need it most. Visit medexpress.co.uk to check your eligibility and get 30% off with the code Super Scoreboard. That's Super Scoreboard, all one word, when you check out at medexpress.co.uk.
With Betfred, when you bet £10, you get £50 in free bets. So, want to back your new striker to score the first goal? Your midfield maestro to get the assist? Want to say there'll be a header? Want to see their striker caught offside? He was born offside. Want to predict the final score? Or both teams to score? Want to get involved for 90 minutes? Want to nick it in extra time? Want to bet £10 and get £50 in free bets? Want to bet? Betfred. New online customers only. 5 £10 free bets. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
Grab the unrivaled Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra with an incredible privacy display on EE, the UK's best network. You can save £20 per month, plus claim a Samsung Galaxy Tab S10 Lite. Now we're talking. So get yours today. Offer ends 28th of May.
Saving on minimum 24-month 125GB airtime plan. Eligibility, credit check and terms apply. Credit by EE Limited. Claim from Samsung within 30 days of purchase. Verify best network at ee.co.uk/claims.
The all-new, all-electric Toyota CHR Plus. Sleek, stylish and quietly reliable. Available with 0% APR representative with £1,500 deposit contribution and save £1,500 with the electric car grant. Get that Toyota electric feeling. Visit your nearest Toyota centre. Price from 34495. Available on Toyota PCP when financed through Toyota Financial Services by 30th of June 2026. Optional final payment. Indemnities may be required. See website T's and C's apply.
I'm Professor Noel Fitzpatrick, and as a vet, I know you want the best care for your animal companion. Pet insurance can help, but you need to choose wisely as not all policies are the same. Pet Plan aim to pay claims quickly and without a fuss, and that's one reason why so many vets work with them.
Get your pet the best veterinary care. Save 10% on new policies when you insure at petplan.co.uk. T's and C's apply. Fits all media as an appointed representative of Pet Plan Limited.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard Goal Flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy. Get set for the season with expert pharmacy support.
Showtime in the East End of Glasgow. You can't predict this fixture. You can't predict anything that happens in this crazy league this season. But give it a go anyway. Humour us, the three of you.
I said anything could happen. I'm going for Celtic 1, Rangers 2.
I'm going for Celtic 1, Rangers 1.
I'm going to go, from the beginning I've said Celtic will win the league, so I'm going 2-1 Celtic.
Okay, well, strap yourselves in, because whatever happens over the next 90 minutes, you will hear all about it here. And then, of course, the post-match fallout. I cannot wait already. I'm looking forward to the game, and I want to see what happens, but I really want to hear from you afterwards till we pour over this. Is it the day that Celtic take a big step towards the title? Is it a day that their title hopes take a big dent? Can Rangers have the beginnings of a miracle? Are Rangers going to be in crisis at full time? These are all the conclusions we will jump to, Hugh Keevins, because this game means everything, even if neither of these sides win the league.
If Danny Rule loses today, it's 3 league defeats in a row, and that for the Rangers fans is unacceptable. He has entered into that phase of his time at Ibrox where the fans are not sure they've got the right guy. So a defeat would be very bad news for Danny Rule, very good news for Martin O'Neill. As I say, 3 games, Rangers, Motherwell, Hearts, 3 wins, Martin O'Neill wins the title. At the end of the chaotic season that Celtic have had, that would be a miracle.
I've got to say, Hugh, sorry, you're talking about Rangers manager. It's fine lines. See, if you're right, if he goes and wins today and an opportunity to finish second, then fine, they'll go with him. If he doesn't, he finishes third, he's under pressure. I think he's gone.
Well, let's let him finish his afternoon's work first before we worry about that too much. Cammy, we mentioned it with Scott. Nothing sums up this mad season more than the fact that this game takes place today, and yet it's not the only show in town. It was influenced by a game in North Lanarkshire last night. So what does last night do for this game today?
I think what last night does, it gives certainly Celtic an opportunity. You mentioned the door opening for them. It's gave them that door's wide open for them now. They need to
strike from Arnie Engels early on. It's not dealt with as well as it probably should have been by Jack Butland. And Dyson Maeda got the rebound, but he was a bit loose with it. It all came really from brilliant work from Dyson Maeda. Won the ball back as he does, then found some space, laid it to Engels. He actually had options in front of him though. It was an ambitious strike. It did move in front of Butland. Should Maeda have done better when he gets onto that rebound?
Yeah, I think he should. I think Engels is shooting from all of 35 yards as well. You can see the ball moving in front of Jack Butland. He gets his body in the way but spills it out in front of him. I think if Dyson Maeda takes a good first touch, he'll definitely get a shot away. But yeah, it's a warning sign for Rangers.
You can sense that Celtic Park is supercharged. I've rarely, even with regard to this fixture, I rarely felt the tension that's in the air and the Celtic fans' sense of expectation. Rangers will have to withstand all of that.
Well, Rangers got a chance to break here. Celtic thought they should have had a free kick in the edge of the box, and it's allowed Mikey Moore, and he's actually got Antman outside him and Chermite, who's going to line it up right footed, and it goes just wide.
What a chance.
Big chance for Rangers. 3.5 minutes gone.
Yeah, on the counter attack there, Hugh. A great ball from Moore into Chermite. Oh, his eyes must have lit up there. Great opportunity, but he just drags his shot wide of the post. We're off to a good start here. End to end, good pace about the game.
Easy to say with hindsight because Engels caught the strike well and it made life uncomfortable for Butland, but was it the wrong choice when you move forward in so much space and got players in front of him?
Yeah, possibly, but again, it's early in the game, and I understand why he takes a strike on. The goalkeeper's not had a touch of the ball yet. You're 35 yards out. It did open up for him. There was space to take the shot on, but you're right, there probably was better options at that moment. But yeah, listen, it's been a really good start to the game. The ball's moving really quick. Both teams are moving the ball forward to try and get the breakthrough early on, so it's been an interesting start.
Yeah, 4.5 gone, and it is breathless stuff already. Celtic with a good opening, and then Rangers with a good chance.
It was a high press, putting Rangers under pressure, Jigger right away. That's what these two centre-halves need to realise. They will not get time on the ball this afternoon. Maeda's already showed them. He's already robbed them once and caused problems. So they've just got to be careful.
But there's already been the warning sign. I seen the ball back to Jack Butland where Maeda was right on him, and again he's having a go at his centre backs to say, look, you need to be sure of your passes back with the weight of the ball coming back to him, because he didn't have enough time and he ended up having to kick the ball at the pitch. So you can see how high they're pressing.
Alistair Johnston, Gordon, he's back in the team. He won't be fully fit, but he'll be getting much sharper. How big a difference can he make?
Massive. Just for his name being on the team sheet and players round about him. No disrespect to Donovan and Ralston, but this is different quality you've got. He's a fantastic player. He gets up and down there. He's got great quality. He's a competitor as well. He's not frightened to get into the tackles. Just looking at the way Celtic set up, I thought Luke McCowan was going to play off the left hand side, but it looks like he's playing on the right
and Yang on the other side.
Yeah, and that's to come in his left hand side, and as Scotty Allan said there at Celtic Park, to try and slip nice balls through the Rangers defence.
Is that back to the old, was it Feyenoord that all started? Hugh maybe raised a few eyebrows on the night, and Celtic actually put in a really good performance. I remember Luke McCowan doing that role that night, I think.
I'm just looking at the crowd participation here. If you win a tackle, the whole crowd stand up.
Yeah, I thought
standing ovation for winning a tackle.
Cal McGregor did really well though, didn't he? Was it Chermite he was up against? It was someone much bigger than him anyway.
Used his body really well. Yep. No, you can see the fans are absolutely up for it. And again, touching back on last night's result, you mentioned it before, Gordon, that listen, it plays a huge part in the way that the Celtic fans have walked into Celtic Park this morning. They've got a little bit of bounce in their step. They know the opportunity is there, but it's up to the players to go and grab it.
I mean, on the subject of crowds, I mean, look what this title race is doing for crowds. The crowd at Fir Park last night was sensational.
Couldn't get parked. I couldn't even get parked outside my own house. Ridiculous. I've written to the council. No more of these big games allowed at Fir Park.
Biggest in over 20 years.
Yeah, it's incredible.
8 o'clock on a Saturday night.
Incredible.
Live on television. So if you want to stay in the house and watch it, you can do. It was amazing. Honestly, what an atmosphere it was.
Yeah, televised extremely well, as is this game. It's just sensational stuff.
Ball into the box, it's deflected though, and Butland will gather comfortably. Both sides could make a claim to having started the game brightly. We mentioned that Chermite chance he dragged past. Celtic have had a couple of sniffs and maybe had a bit more possession in the sunshine. How does the press work out here? Conor Barron goes down. I'm never sure if those are fouls or if referees just buy them every time.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, if I'm Connor Barron, I'm not thanking him for putting a ball in there. I think it puts him under a wee bit of pressure and the referee helps him out. You're talking about the fans are up for it. I've got to say, on evidence, I think the players are up for it.
Yeah. Both sets of players have started really well. Rangers have took the ball in difficult places close to their goal. They're trying to play up from the back, play through the thirds. Celtic are pressing really, really high and fast pace, so they've started really well both sides.
Yeah, Romans goes down. I think Alistair Johnson maybe caught his foot and the Belgian takes a tumble. He's getting a talking to from Nick Walsh. It was never going to be anything more than that. And on we go with 8 minutes gone, still goalless in the sunshine in the East End, which is a nice novelty for everyone, apart from Hugh, who only likes football when it's dark and miserable, which speaks volumes to your character.
Although sunshine has not affected this game in a negative way, it's been an outstanding start. It's an Old Firm match. It should be like this, but the pair of them have had an awful season one way and another, but this has the look of an epic about it.
Who would have thought? Back to the first meeting of the season. Do you remember it? Seems like a lifetime ago when you think of the two men that were in the dugouts, and then we had other men arriving in the dugout. Now it's ended, as we've seen for the last couple, with Martin O'Neill against Danny Rule. Incredible stuff. Well won by Rangers. It's nicked away, and then Chermiti, he pokes it and it's going to end up in the back of the net.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Rangers strike first, and it is Mikey Moore. Celtic 0, Rangers 1, 9 minutes on the clock. Chermiti did a lot of the hard work. It was blocked and it fell to Moore. He couldn't miss on the rebound. Celtic 0, Rangers 1.
Celtic over-elaborated on the ball. They were robbed, pickpocketed, and that's the dream start for Danny Rule. You've got to remember that Mikey Moore's still a teenager, and he has really written his name on his stay at Rangers, and now he's got that Old Firm goal. Celtic poor defensively.
Luke McCowan far too long on the ball. He stays on the ball, he gets his pocket picked, and Rangers attack with a real threat. Chermiti does brilliant. He's got a little shift in his feet there, and then he gets fortunate with a block shot. But there's Mikey Moore, as you say, he's had an excellent season, just slots at home, but really poor from Luke McCowan.
It's really losing that initial ball that's the killer for Celtic, Gordon McCowan, and losing it. After that, it hits Scales' legs. It can go anywhere, and it falls Mikey Moore's way. But Celtic will be distraught at the way they gave up possession, and well capitalised upon by Rangers.
Luke McCown's in the team. I didn't think he would have started today. Obviously he doesn't trust Tenecti, but you can't dwindle on the ball like that.
Hold on, here's Maeda down the side of the box. He's going to try and flash one, and it's hacked away, as you will.
Yeah, too many touches. He had the opportunity to just lay it off, but he tried to hold on to it. As Cammy quite rightly said, he got his pocket picked, and it was all down to Chermiti. Then you need a little bit of luck, you need the rub of the green, and Mikey Moore must have been sitting there thinking, easiest finish I'll ever get, 1-0 Rangers.
McCowan needs to realise the pace of the game, because it's been fast and furious to start with, and again he's never going to get that long on the ball. He tries to take 2 free touches, gets the ball taken off him, and Rangers punish them.
Well, Rangers clearly galvanised by that goal. The supporters certainly will have been galvanised. It's about mentality now. If Rangers take a 2-goal lead, then Celtic are bang up against it, but Celtic having to try and look for an equaliser early on.
Yeah, too high at the back post. It gets the acknowledgement from Yang, who jumped with James Tavernier. I think it evades them both, and on we go. 11 minutes gone, Celtic 0, Rangers 1, and that shakes things up a bit.
Not half. We know that Celtic have come back, made it a speciality of coming back against Rangers at Ibrox, but of late, the last 2 years, Celtic's league record against Rangers has been very poor. The last 9 games that Celtic and Rangers have played, Celtic have won 1 of them over 90 minutes.
I always think these games, Gordon, certainly recently have become, the moments have become so important. You're gone are the days where Celtic are able to dominate, far from it. That must be why you end up kicking yourself. There's just nothing really in the start of the game. They're both quite even. They both have a couple of chances. If you're the one that gets your moment wrong, it can really, really make life difficult for you.
Yeah, and Celtic got their moment wrong. Let's not be kidded, but all credit to Rangers. Rangers punished that moment, and that's what this fixture's now all about. It's two teams that are, look, evenly balanced. You can't second guess this game. We take a punt at the beginning, Celtic or draw or whatever it may be, but It's one of those games. It's so close now. You're right. Celtic don't dominate this fixture the way you used to, and we're now. I think an early goal's brilliant for it. I really do. I think it brings more excitement, because if Rangers go and score it, Celtic are really, really behind the 8 ball. But if Celtic can get back into it, that momentum gets them going once again.
There's more of a goal threat from Rangers. You know, Mikey Moore's just proved that. Chermiti loves this fixture. He scored 4 times against Celtic since arriving at Ibrox, and they look here as if they know the importance of a second goal.
And they might just get it because Chermiti's in at the back post. It's a big save, but there's Mikey Moore again, and what a block that is from Liam Scales. I think there was a handball in the build-up.
Yeah,
Chermiti's making his case. It would have only been a corner anyway. Chermiti got the better of Trusty. I think it probably did bounce up on his arm.
Celtic to me look as if they've been spooked by Rangers opening the scoring.
Yeah, listen, defensively Celtic look all over the place. I think it does come off his arm
a couple of times. I think.
Again it's just a long ball over from Tavernier from right to left. Chermiti finds himself 1v1. He gets the better of Trusty, manages to get his shot away, and then, as you say, it was a fantastic block by Scales.
Have you noticed this? Every time the ball's now falling, Mikey Moore's just picking the ball up. There's nobody seem to know where he, because he's sort of floating about there. He's not just staying on the left hand side. He's getting himself into good positions. You've seen it with the goal, and then a great opportunity. He'd have been delighted that was a handball. He should have scored.
We're also seeing this continuation of, although I know the league's still there and everything's been looked through a bit more optimistically by Celtic fans recently, but what is their style now compared to what it used to be? Have you seen a couple of long straight balls go up the pitch, which, you know, Fernandes and Giga are just going to win in the air? What's the, you know, where's the build up the way that they used to have it?
We don't have it. They don't have it. They used to. Cal McGregor used to dictate everything, Gordon. What I've noticed right away here is Rangers and down Tavernier's side, they're getting so much joy in space. It's incredible. See, every time the Rangers players have got the ball, the switch is on all day long. I look at that Celtic midfield, right, and McGregor for me has not had the greatest season, and he is a terrific player, so I'm not saying that, but the other two for me, you never know what you're getting.
Yeah, Chermiti's in again. Scales snuffs him out, but that long ball over the top to Chermiti is causing Celtic all sorts of problems.
Trusty just can't deal with it again. Chermiti's falling on to Trusty every single time. He's twisting and turning, and Trusty can't get to grips with Chermiti's all over him. Yeah, listen, Rangers are in complete control of this game in the last 5 minutes.
Mikey Moore is causing them all sorts of problems because he's playing in, right? And if you look at Ant-Man something, he's coming in, so the full-backs are coming in tight, and all of a sudden the wide men are getting all the room in the world, especially Tavernier on the right hand side.
Rangers have grown since this goal, Hugh. Didn't think there wasn't much in the game until the goal, but since then Rangers look the better team, don't they?
Yeah, as I say, Celtic have been spooked by the opening goal. They had started the match in a fashion that suggested they almost expected to win, and the crowd were going to get them over the line. They're in deep trouble now.
Yeah, corner from Tour Romans. 6-yard box is packed, and Emmanuel Fernandes should have done better. I think he might head it.
Kick, is he?
I think he might head it onto his own shoulder.
I think he just gets his timing all wrong. It's there for him to head. It's a real chance. It's
inside the 6-yard box.
Brilliant ball in towards the front of the post of the 6-yard box.
Yang does so well, and Maeda's in behind. Can he slot it? No, he cannot. A massive chance for Celtic. They should be level, but that Gordon, I was going to say, is Daisen Maeda over the back.
I've got to say, and it's easy for me saying after, I was never confident.
Miles White.
Never confident.
Awful finish.
That is him in a nutshell.
And it's firepower that is going to decide this game, because Martin O'Neill can't believe it. Celtic do not have a goal scorer on the park.
That's not even close. No. And again, he's one-on-one with Jack Butland. You've got to hit the target at least there. He's miles off it.
He's been in good goal scoring form, and you know he can score maybe different types of chances, but does that not really sum it up? You would expect St Mirren's number 9 to score that, or Livy's number 9, or any really. If that falls to Celtic's number 9 in a game like this, that's just got to end up in the back of the net.
I think if you say score it, forget scoring it, you've got to either
not put it 4 yards away.
You've got to hit the target or make the goalkeeper work. You look at, there's the difference, and I said it from day one. I think your strikers win you the league in the split. You look at if that was Shanklin,
I was going to say that.
It's in the back of it. It's gone.
And
it's
you see
done.
it again. I watched Dyson Maeda in that position. That's where I think he's really, really poor. When he's got time to think about it, he can see the goal, he can see the goalkeeper, and he I don't even think he believes he's going to score there. Whereas you say Lawrence Shanklin in that position, he's scoring 9 times, if not more than that, out of 10.
Can I just remind you about Lawrence Shanklin's terrible miss last night?
That was a good block.
That was a great block.
That's the difference. Like,
should
no one
have busted it.
But no one blocks Maeda there. He just misses it all on his own.
No, I say the Celtic's team reflects the desperate nature of their recruitment, because they brought in 6 players in January and none of them are involved today. None.
Also, Gordon, you see both sides of it, because obviously he actually does really well. He's on the shoulder.
Yep.
He because he gets his body in, he's much smaller than Fernandes, but he bundles Fernandes to the ground. It allows him to go in. So you see the both sides of it, what he can bring and what he lacks at times.
Oh, it does brilliant. Listen, I'm not taking that away from him. It does brilliant. I've got to say, in the early stages, if I was a Rangers manager, I think I'd be having a quiet word with my 2 centre backs. They look like they're out for a stroll. They're getting caught on the ball, the possession. Look, as much as Maeda does brilliant, he should never be pushing centre halves off the ball that easily. So they've got to be careful.
Is that not just when you get the timing right, though? Because Fernandes is not quite on the ball yet, is it?
I just think the 2 centre halves at times are so slack. It's incredible for Rangers.
Fernandes is taking a risk as well. He's looking for the free kick, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? He's feeling the contact. He thinks he's going to get a free kick. For me, it wasn't a free kick, but you're taking a massive risk there.
I think we're going to get the first booking of the afternoon. It goes to Yusuf Chermiti, a striker's tackle, they call that, I think.
Yeah, it was a sore one. Is it on Luke McCann? Is it?
Yeah, it's going to be in the top of the foot, I think.
Yeah. It's
Engels.
It's certainly a sore one. But first yellow card, wouldn't have said it would have went to centre forward, but that's the sort of game we've got.
What did we say about 10 minutes ago, though, about getting your moments right in this fixture? That's the biggest chance of the game, and it's so poor as well, isn't it? Like you say, if Butland pulls off a good save, or even if he can't quite angle it and it hits it straight at the goalkeeper, I know that you're not going to celebrate a missed shot because it goes straight to the goalkeeper, but that was miles wide.
Yeah, and that's probably the real disappointing thing, that he's one-on-one with the goalkeeper and you put 2 or 3 yards wide of the post. You're not even asking, you're brushing the post as it goes past with the angled shot. It was just so poor from Dyson Maeda. But again, when I look at him, I don't think he's confident. I don't think he believes he's going to score in them situations. Whereas the reactive ones, he's very, very good at. He doesn't have time to think about it, and the ball goes in the back of the net.
I think it was actually a free kick to Rangers. Chukwueze just got ran into by a Celtic player. The referee said free kick, and Jack Butland will just launch it long. That's clearly where Rangers can get their joy, Gordon. Not so much from these situations, but when there's a bit of space opens up, that ball over the top to Chermiti up against Trusty has been really fruitful so far. Yeah,
Chermiti seems to come alive in the big ones, doesn't he? He likes the challenge with Trusty. I think Trusty's under a little bit of pressure with him at times.
McKevin's looking lost out there.
I've got to say, Luke McCown for me is a nice football player, but like most Celtic players just now, I don't think he's going to be the guy that takes Celtic forward. And I'm not just having a go at him. I look at that today, and I think, like Rangers, and we said about Ant-Man, about the manager just taking a stab, I think he done that with Luke McCown as well, because he couldn't trust them else.
That's the thing, that you don't have to get everything right in this fixture. 21 minutes gone, I don't think Ant-Man's touched the ball. He doesn't, you know what I mean? They don't all have to work. But you just, as a team, you need to get more right than you get wrong.
Yeah, but the fewest touches just come up in the graphic there, and it was Mikey Moore, and he scored the goal.
Yeah. Callum McGregor works it out to Kieran Tierney. He's got good numbers this season. That's a bad miss from Benjamin Nygren. He gets the angle all wrong, and he just didn't seem to get his body position right to head it towards goal, because he's not that far out. And again, that actually ends up going miles wide again. Is he head off his own shoulder?
Yeah. It's a poor attempt. He's scored 1 goal in his last 8 games, Benjamin Nygren, and he's Celtic's top goal scorer. 1 in his last 8 games.
How's about this for a stat? Going all the way back, Hugh, to 1988, before I was born.
Yeah.
Rangers have scored first at Celtic Park 23 times.
Yeah.
And have never lost from that position.
Well, as they always say, records are there to be broken. But
well, a lot of Celtic fans have just turned the telly off, the radio.
But at the moment, you would not be.
Oh, what a pass that is! Celtic are into the box, and it's in the back of the net.
Excellent.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Luke McCowan cups his ears and says, take that, Gordon Dalziel. What a pass it was. It squared across, and Yang, just as he did when the sides met at Celtic Park earlier in the season, finds the back of the net. We have a level game.
And rightly so, let me tell you. Rightly so, because that is a that's what he's there for. That's what Scotty was talking about. It's a fantastic run as well. Wow. Great cut back. Everybody gets dragged towards
Is there going to be a case for a Celtic attacker offside standing right in front of Jack Butland?
Not for me. Not at first glimpse. He is offside and he is in front of Jack Butland. I don't think it affects anything to do with his dive, so no, not for me.
That's a goal. No, it's a goal.
By the way, it's an excellent goal. You're right. Listen, takes huge character. Luke McCowan's pretty much, he'll know on the pitch that he's gifted Rangers that goal, and what a pass that was. It was a brilliant pass.
They will be having a look for sure, because there is I think it was Nygren is standing in front of Jack Butland. Before we're all going to argue about it for 6 weeks. I think you have to acknowledge that these ones are quite difficult. They're so subjective. You're split second, you're looking at line of sight and all that sort of stuff. So there's nothing wrong with it at all until, is Nygren, he's in front of Jack Butland, but is he blocking him enough? This is the better view that tells you from behind.
No, it's tight, but I think they'll give that goal.
Not so sure.
No, are you going not so sure?
Not so sure.
He's
goal.
No, he has given
me, honestly, as a goalkeeper, I watched Jack's his dive there. I don't think it affects him. I don't think he's ever going to save it. It's a good goal from Celtic's point of view. I don't think it affects the goalkeeper.
Martin O'Neill has already had a conversation with Willie Collum in recent days, because he was unhappy with the officiating at Easter Road last week. But anyway, out of the blue, Celtic are back in it, and the stat that you read is out earlier, Gordon, about Rangers scoring first at Celtic Park and never losing. Now that's up for grabs.
I've got to say it was a good goal, good work goal, great ball in. Both Luke McCowan, obviously that left foot, beautiful, picks him out. Is it Ingles that makes a run? Is it Ingles?
I think so.
Yeah, and it's a fantastic run. Everybody, all the Rangers players get dragged towards the goal to Butland. Jan just stays himself, holds his angles. Ball beautifully weighted to him. It's a very, very good goal from
Danny
Celtic.
Rule has had a word with Matthew McDermott, the fourth official, because clearly Danny Rule feels that it should have been overruled.
Well, it wasn't, and it's Celtic 1, Rangers 1 with 25 minutes gone, and we've got a good football match in our hands.
Yeah. Listen, Rangers just need to get on with it now. You can argue whether they think it should have been offside or not. They've conceded that goal. They've started the game really, really well. They were well on top for a period there after they scored their first goal, and it looked like Celtic were struggling to get back into it. But one moment of magic, one pass that unlocks that defence has changed the game.
Everyone goes on about Rangers mentality, and I know it annoys Danny Rule a great deal, but it's about their mentality now.
There again, it's Fernandes that just plays a lazy ball into middle part. Celtic pick it up, and all of a sudden they put a little bit of pressure on them. Rangers just need to be careful. It's a good game, end to end. They've shown that they're a threat. There's no doubt about that. I think there's more goals than that. There's that ball wide right again, but Antman obviously is shouting, get out, get out.
They've moved the ball well, Rangers, at times. Again, they were under pressure from that high press from Celtic. They managed to get through. Diamandi breaks through the press, tries to play that diagonal. If it was just a little bit off at Antman's 1v1.
So 26 gone, Celtic 1, Rangers 1. What it all means is it's exactly as you were in the title race, because Hearts drew last night, but this would suit the Jambos, of course, because they would be a step closer. But still a lot of football to be played here, so you can tie yourselves in knots with the permutations all afternoon and see how this one ends. Really important from Tour Romans there, because it looked like he was going to lose out, and he would have been vulnerable if he had. But now Rangers are in the box. Mikey Moore, and it's sliced up by Scales, who I actually think does quite well in the end.
He's got to, because that's a great break. Obviously Mikey Moore, he sees Chermiti making the run, and Scales can't do anything else. We see that again. I think I'm not arguing against that goal. No.
Yes, Negrin's in front of him, but as I say, I don't think it affects Jack Butland's dive. Whether it affects him seeing the ball, but he still dives for it. He still dives for the ball.
They are meant to take line of sight into account, though.
Yeah, but I think when the contact of the ball, he can still see the ball when it hits it. It leaves the player's foot, Yang's foot. So, listen, for me, when I look at it, I think the right call's been made.
It wouldn't be an Old Firm game without controversy of this nature, but Rangers corner.
Well, that's football in the modern era, isn't it?
Yeah.
Celtic, I think for most people, conceded a goal against Hibs last week that shouldn't have stood.
No, they've been robbed. Rangers here, there's a break.
Chance.
Yeah, it's 4-2 in Celtic's favour. There's a third coming back for and Rangers, and it's gone a begging. It's really poor from Celtic. 4-2, it became 4-3. They still had the advantage, and I can't actually see who it was that recovered brilliantly to nick it away from Luke McCowan's toe.
He's just picked out the wrong ball, hasn't he?
Yeah.
What a great opportunity. And that came from a Rangers corner kick.
I think
Celtic just broke on
you
them.
need to identify that you're playing it onto Luke McCowan's right foot there. He's always going to cut back in. If he doesn't get the cut back right, then he's going to get his pocket picked, and it was the Rangers defender who done that. So you're right, I think he's just chose the wrong option.
Do you know the option I'd have been looking at there, and it was the first thing I looked at, because of the break and the distance in behind where the Rangers defenders were? Slide it through for Maeda's pace.
Yeah.
Nobody's catching him. Nobody will catch him on that pitch.
There it is again with high ball. Celtic still not convinced by them. Cammy at the back.
No. Listen, it's an end-to-end game. Rangers are a real threat going forward. It's just defensively it worries you as well, the way that they're playing.
Are you convinced about Rangers at the back?
No, listen, it's been a brilliant game. It's been end-to-end.
Yeah, as Scotty says, the team that defends, takes their chances and scores the most goals, will win the game, and Scotty's right.
We're nearly at the half-hour mark. I can't decide if that's going fast or not, this game. It kind of...
it's flying in. It's flying in. It's a good game. It's exciting. I'm enjoying it. Sunday afternoon, loving it.
That's good. Nice to hear some optimism from you.
I'm loving it. What else would I be doing?
Liam Scales has it. I thought for a brief second I thought he was considering the shot, and then thought better of it. The ball into the Rangers box, not really convincing, but Celtic kind of keep it alive. Again, never really looked like showing that absolute cutting edge, and Butland will just take it to his feet and waste a bit of time. Not waste a bit of time, consider his options more like, because probably needed to take this thing out of the game for a second there.
Yeah, again, I think Celtic have got their tails up a little bit, which naturally they would after scoring a goal, but we mention it, Rangers are a threat going forward, whether that's Celtic being vulnerable at the back or just Rangers' quality. They've played well in periods. Rangers have moved the ball really, really well.
That was good play from Rangers there, Cammy. Out for the back,
right just to left,
brilliant. Right in the press.
It was really good up to the final part. I think Romans and Moore are just not on the same wavelength, and it gets passed comfortably back to Sinisalo, but Diomande did brilliant in the build-up.
Yeah, a couple of times he's done really well, got that half turn and played passes forward with a real purpose. And when you've got Mikey Moore in the team, you want to get him on the ball. Again, you look at his crosshair where Scales had to overstretch and managed to just get it cleared. It was a brilliant ball with outside his foot, so it's been a decent start for Rangers.
It's a fixture that is what it should be, given the what's at stake, the consequences of defeat. It's that kind of game that's living up to the hype.
It's already on edge, isn't it? It just feels that way.
Celtic tried to spin one down the line by Yang, but it gets cut out, and then Rangers I was going to say Rangers lose it, but a free kick has been given, and Rangers will get the chance to regroup.
Yeah, you see when Celtic start to build the ball there, right away Diomande goes right on to McGregor and tries to stop Celtic playing through McGregor. And if you do that, everybody turns around and says, well, you stop Celtic play. And sometimes you force them into that long ball. And if you do that, then you're hoping your two centre-halves with the size of Rangers.
Chance for Yang to go over the top here against Tavernier, but the Rangers skipper does fine. I think the angle on the ball from McGregor just slightly off, because if he'd got that right, he would have fancied Yang to get in behind.
Yeah, again, you're right. It was just too close to the central area. It allowed Tavernier to get his body in front and play a good pass back to Jack Butland.
So it's really in the balance, this one, Hugh.
Yeah, you get the feeling that
that's poor though from Connor Barron. It's not a great touch at all.
It just looks like a boy that's not played a lot of football just now. He's trying to settle into the pace of this, because let's be honest, this is a very, very quick pace of the game. So he's a good player, Barron. I like him. I think he does a good job, but He's missed a lot of football, and this is a big, big game to come back into.
You get the feeling that Martin O'Neill looking to Tenecte and Iacho in the second half. Who knows how this first half will end, but I think it's about impact players later on in the game for Celtic.
Well, it remains to be seen how it will end, because nothing is certain in this league this season, certainly not in this fixture. 32 gone, Celtic 1, Rangers 1, and you'd have to say you'd have a tough job calling it from here, wouldn't you?
Yeah, very much so. The story of Martin O'Neill's season, though, has been one that's punctuated by late dramatic finishes. If it's not Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain saving the day against Livingston, then it's Orojo saving the day at Kilmarnock, or Adamu saving the night against Dundee in the Scottish Cup, or Thomas Vanchara. That's the story of Martin O'Neill's season, and that might be continued today.
Well, Celtic are just trying to press Rangers at the back. Rangers have done pretty well in possession over the piece. Both sides have had their flaws. Mikey Moore, I think, is going to concede a throw-in there. It was well shut down by Alistair Johnston.
Yeah, it was good defending by Johnston. He read him very, very quickly. Didn't let him go on the turn, because he knows if Mikey Moore faces him up, he's got a problem. So he went in, stole it.
Such strong defending from Emmanuel Fernandez. Does brilliantly. Then so composed, carries the ball. That is wonderful.
Wow.
From Fernandez, and Tierney just gets it away from Chermiti for a throw-in.
Brilliant from Fernandez, though, again. Just so strong.
He's a good player when he gets on it. He just, for me, sometimes he frustrates you because he's so lackadaisical.
Slack. Yeah. He's got that slack moment. If he can take that out of his game, he'll be an absolute superstar. The size of him.
I was going to say, you see the difference between the approach here from the two teams. This a kind of throw-in in what I think Celtic would consider a nothing area.
Yep.
Rangers have got all the big men coming up. James Tavernier's going to launch it into the box and really try and make something happen.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Again, it's come into the game a lot more recently. Tavernier's long throw in at the box.
Scales is above everybody there.
Gets up so well because Fernandez is huge. Just get that obvious advantage. There's a player down, but Chermiti's continuing in the box, and the Rangers player is still down. Again, Celtic defend that so well, because you mentioned
he's blown now.
The height advantage that Emmanuel Fernandez has, but Celtic stood up pretty well to that. Diamandi's down in the box.
Celtic done really well, didn't they, there?
Yeah, well, we'll get a break. I know, a silly question. Are you allowed to run and lift your teammate up like they do in rugby so you can header it?
Jeez, I don't think so.
Why? Where's the rule in that?
I'll get back to you.
Are there a rule?
Beginning an unfair
unsporting conduct or something.
Yeah, I don't think you're allowed to do it.
Are you serious right now? After all this time, that's the question.
I was thinking about the height, advantage of Rangers.
And Yang lifting up scales.
Go and header that.
Amazing.
Maybe I could bring that in. That could be my coaching job.
It says more about your brain than anything else.
Exactly.
Right, anyway, 10 minutes to go until half time. You wouldn't bet against the goal. And it's funny to say that because there's not been loads of chances, but you still looks like a lot of opportunity.
Not disrespect, it's a poor ball from Tavernier, but no disrespect, right? I'm trying to look in the screen. Scotty will need to tell me, because he's seen the full picture there. Where is Yang when Tavernier and Atman have got a 2v1 against Tierney in this right hand side? Where I'm looking at the picture and we can't see in the screen. Where is he? Because if I'm Tierney, I'm saying you have to come in here and pick up Tavernier, and I'll go and mark Antman.
Yeah.
But he's been left with the two of them.
Long throw again. James Tavernier's winding it up. Celtic defended the last one well, but you won't want to defend too many of them, because even at that you can see what happens. They defend it, but Johnson then has to put it out for a corner. It just causes so much uncertainty.
Do you sense a little panic when the balls come in?
They're unpredictable, isn't it? It's always difficult. Again, it just takes it was a Celtics player there that actually flicked it on, because you're off balance. There's so many bodies in a short space that it's really unpredictable where the ball ends up. So you're right, Celtic won't want to give too many throw-ins away in that sort of last 18 yard.
Celtic give the impression, or Rangers give the impression, that they know they're going to get joy from that tactic at some point. But another corner to defend.
Yeah, it's a deep ball, too deep, out at the far post. That'll be a real frustration, that, for Rangers. James Tavernier gets it wrong, puts far too much on it.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the man for man in that box, and I think Yang's picking up somebody like Chermiti or somebody. And the advantage is incredible. So it shows you that set plays, Celtic need to be careful. I would be trying to limit throw-ins and corner kicks and free kicks into my own penalty box, because Rangers are a real threat.
Celtic don't often move up the pitch and break a press as well as they used to. They did all right there and they got up the right hand side, but just the final pass was put out for a throw-in. Well, not been very much joined up play from either side really. It's got that erratic nature to it still.
Yeah, it's been basketball match but end to end, and again, listen, when both teams are going forward, they're looking like they're trying to obviously get the goal. There's not been a huge amount of possession based play from either teams. It's switched very, very quickly, and they've both looked a threat going forward.
Not long until the break. Who will finish the half the stronger?
Oh, brilliant.
Kieran Tierney doing one of those trademark Kieran Tierney drops of the shoulder, you know, the one where he stands up and then moves to the left to deliver the cross, but it doesn't really come to much and goes out for a throw-in in the end.
The one thing that Rangers have done brilliant in the first 38-39 minutes is it must be the quietest time McGregor's ever played in this fixture. You've never seen him on the ball.
I think he started more involved.
Yeah, but
as it's gone on.
Yeah, he can't. The minute that the Celtic get it, especially at the back, Diamandi's right on him.
Yeah, it's going to be a booking to one of the Celtic players. Is it Alistair Johnson?
Yeah. Oh, is
he given that for?
It's been building up. He ran into Chugwani as well. He
I thought he gave the free kick.
He did
he?
But
you can still book him for that, to be fair. You can.
Did you think that was a foul on Moore?
I don't think that's a foul, the one he even gives. Or is it that one and then it's not a booking.
I don't think that's even a foul, to be honest.
Nothing wrong with that challenge at all.
His foot's down.
Boys, stand to be corrected. I totally agree with you. I don't think that's a free kick.
And the reaction, I thought, this must be a bad tackle when everyone started running around. I'm not even sure that's a foul. Oh well. On we go. 39 minutes gone. Celtic 1, Rangers 1.
Martin will be calling Willie Collum again, but on we go, as you say. 6 minutes of regulation time. First half, it's been excellent entertainment end to end, and you could not predict even the half-time score.
Just to think, how will the Hearts fans be feeling amongst all of this? Got to bring them into account, surely.
Well, it was like that last night for the Celtic fans, and it's a sensational end to the title race. You can talk about the quality of the football or whatever, the quality of the league, but it's been sensational entertainment.
Listen, the Hearts fans will be delighted as long as Celtic don't win this game. They'll be celebrating any result, because as you say, if it's a draw, it's another game closer. If Rangers win, even better for them, because they gain that point, so they'll be comfortable at the moment.
Some of the passing is just downright sloppy, isn't it? But
McGregor getting caught there.
Yeah, you're right, he's had the quietest Old Firm game in his playing career.
Trusty initially took advantage of the space well, and Rangers need to be
ball.
careful, but they do quite well. Is it Giga? It's just the second one, and it's picked up on, and it's slid through. If Maeda can get a wee toe to it, and it's going to just about stay in. That was a big chance for Celtic, and they just didn't quite look convincing.
No.
Need to see that back to see just how close it came to Maeda having the chance to pull the trigger, because he was close. He was right in front of Jack Butland. I think he just got crowded out, and it's a poor cross into Jack Butland's arms.
It was just too far in front of him. He was stretching for it to try and get anything on it. We'll see it again.
That's a great. See this ball here. What a ball that is.
Round the corner.
Oh, I love it. Is it Engels round the corner? Maeda's off and running, puts pressure on. Celtic pick up the second ball. I'll tell you what, Rangers defender does well. Yeah. Does well.
Here's Trimiti against Trusty. We saw it loads in the opening stages. It's quieting down that duel a little bit, and it's out near the corner flag. Trimiti just shows a bit of patience. Comes back to Chukwani, who finds Barron. He'll go out the other side for sure. And Tavernier goes down. Yes, it is a free kick. Corner of the box for Rangers. Could be a dangerous one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You do not want to give away needless set plays round about your box.
Jasper Yang was there. He is there. Giving away a needless foul.
Yeah, and I think Tierney will be saying, just you stay out the picture. Stay out the picture.
This is a really good position. If Rangers can get the quality in the box from here.
Is that what happens when wingers try to defend? I actually thought I thought the pass was a fraction under hit.
Yeah,
and Yang might have been favourite, and they somehow.
If that's Tierney, I think he intercepts it because he anticipates that pass coming in. Whereas Yang, you're right in what you say. It's a winger's tackle. He's late. he doesn't anticipate the slow pass into Tavernier, and he ends up giving away a foul in a really dangerous position.
What a great time for Rangers if they could score here just on the end of the first half. All about the ball. Got to put it in there and say to the guys, go and attack that and put Celtic defence under pressure. And this guy usually delivers, to be fair to him. He's done it throughout his Rangers career.
Yeah, big into the first half of this. Great time to score, as the cliche goes. And James Tavernier just assessing his options.
A bit concerned about Chermiti at this back post. Yeah.
And that's exactly who he aims for. But you do wonder if it's hard in the moment, but can Giga leave that for Chermiti behind him?
I don't think there's enough on it, Gordon, to be honest with you.
No,
I don't think there's an.
Oh no, there is.
Maybe there are.
You're never going to leave it.
I cleaned my specs before we went on air this morning.
No, listen, you're never going to leave it. But Chermiti's in the perfect position to head that back in towards goal, and probably scores from that position if he gets on it.
So Benjamin Nygren, and just not again. We saw one up the other end similar, not in the same wavelength as Maeda this time. And a chance to break the Rangers line goes a begging.
Celtic fans always say of Nygren, he's got goals, but other than that, he's not much of a player.
Can't decide whose fault that was, Gordon. Does Maeda's movement need to be better, or does Nygren need to?
I think about both, to be honest. But I think Nygren's. I do agree, but I've got to give him all the credit in the world, because I think if Hugh bagged 20 goals for Midley Park, it's a great return.
But this is Celtic's hour of need, and he scored one goal in the last 8
but if he
and a
hadn't
half
scored
games.
the 20, I think Celtic would be in real trouble, Hugh, to be honest with you.
But
they wouldn't be in the hour of need, would they?
Yeah, exactly. So I think he's played his part. I'm not his greatest fan, as in if he's not scoring goals like you, Hugh, but for somebody, a midfield player, and he's always liable that he can come up and nab you that goal.
Yeah, well, he gives the ball away again on that occasion as he tries to thread a delicate pass around the corner of the box. Doesn't come to anything. We're in the final stages of the opening half here. There'll be a bit of time added on. There was the VAR check on Celtic's goal, a couple of other bits and pieces, nothing major, you wouldn't imagine. So this might be one of the final attacks, and there is that man Nygren. He just twisting and turning in the box, and Rangers just managed to snuff out the danger. Celtic, they feel like they're so close to getting these opportunities,
but no cutting edge.
Yeah.
I think if it goes in 1-1, I think you'd say fair play to both teams. I think they both have their moments. They've both been very attacking. It's been an entertaining game. So, yeah, I think, look, Martin O'Neill needs a win, so does the Rangers manager, but quietly deep down inside, I think the two of them will be happy with performances. Yes, there's one or two things they want to tweak. We see Ant-Man on the screen, and we're delighted we've seen him on the screen because we're not seeing anything else of him. But as fourth official holds up 1 minute, I think both managers have got a little bit of work to be doing at half time.
Neither will want to shoot themselves in the foot in the closing minute of this game. If that's all that's left, that means you've probably got one chance left, and it might go to Rangers. That was poor from Trusty. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Did the sun get in his eyes? Are you allowed to say that?
Just that long ball, though. They don't look comfortable when a long ball comes down on Trusty. I think he just looks really. He never seems to be in the right position to deal with it, especially when Chermiti's been up close to him. He's been uncomfortable a lot in this first half.
Celtic defence looks so unconvincing because they leave it because they know Chermiti's offside, but that allows Mikey Moore to just run through. I think the flag, he might have been offside as well, so flag goes up, and that probably will be that for the first half.
But the Celtic defence, I know that Rangers defence have had their negative moments as well, but Celtic can go on being that easy to play against, or eventually will tell against them.
It goes Tierney down the left. I think the whistle's about to go. Celtic could load the box if they want, but if they take too much longer, the ref will blow the whistle. If they're right on the attack, they might want to put that ball into the box. Is there any awareness of where the time is? I guess not. No. Scott Allan and Andrew Maclean are our eyewitnesses.
Celtic 1, Rangers 1, the half-time score at Celtic Park, and halfway through the game we are no closer to knowing just how this game will impact the title race. Mikey Moore grabbing the opener, but that was cancelled out by a Yang strike, and it is all to play for with 45 minutes left in this game. There was an early sighter from Arne Engels just 3 minutes in. It was spilled by Jack Butland towards Daisen Maeda, but he couldn't sort his feet out on the rebound. Moments later, Rangers broke up the other side. Mikey Moore sliding a pass to Yusuf Chermiti. His shot on the angle rolled wide of the mark. Moore and Chermita were then involved again just 9 minutes in, but this time they got it right. Fernandes with a reverse pass it to Chermita at the edge of the box. A lovely chop to take Trusty out the game. He went for a toe poke finish across goal. That was blocked by Liam Scales, but the ball broke to Mikey Moore on the rebound to slide it in at the near post and give the visitors the lead. Celtic quickly pushed to try and get level. Great work from Yang initially, which ended up in Dyson Maeda through on goal. He was 1-on-1, but it was a really poor finish from the striker way wide of the goal. That was a big missed opportunity, but Yang didn't pass up Celtic's next big chance. It was lovely build up down the right as well. Luke McCowan with a pass to Arne Engels in the box. He cut it across for Yang around the penalty spot, and he found the bottom corner for that equaliser. There was a quick VAR check to see whether Butland was unsighted by the offside Benjamin Negrin, but the goal stood. The game then stayed pretty scrappy and end to end as the half went on. Nasser Jiga involved in both ends, making a sliding tackle to stop Dyson Maeda getting a shot away and then heading over from a James Tavernier free kick in the space of a couple of minutes. But at half time it's Celtic 1, Rangers 1, and probably a fair scoreline in the reflection of things. Scott Allan.
Yeah, listen, I think Celtic started quite brightly in the game, and then Rangers on that counter attack. Look at the one Mikey Moore slides Chermita and he just drags his shot wide. Maeda's chance is huge, isn't it? The one he puts by the post. But I just think for the first Rangers goal, from their perspective, he obviously gets the squeeze. Celtic's a really good press. Great vision from Fernandes, and Fernandes has done some unbelievable things in this first half, and then a couple of minutes later does some unbelievable bad things in the same time. He's not the finished article, but I agree with what Cammy said in the show that he's got potential, he's got a high ceiling. And Celtic then grew back into the game. I spoke about McCowan. I actually thought McCowan really struggled in the early part of the game. It looks as if it was too fast for him. He obviously gets caught in the ball for the Rangers goal, but then you see why he's in the team and why he's chose to go him out in that position, coming narrow in the pitch. And it's lovely vision, great disguised pass for the run into the box from Engels, and again it then falls to Engels, lifts his head, picks out Yang, and it's a great equaliser from a Celtic point of view. But the game is on a knife edge. There's been some of the crowd reactions when there's a bit of contact on each other. Both teams they've looked threatening at times without being dominating in the final third. That's what I would say. But I still think the substitutions are going to have a massive impact in this game. If it's not that, then it's going to come from a mistake. You look at the long balls a couple of times just before the end of the first half there. Trusty just can't read the ball coming out there. Mikey Moore, Romans, Chermita putting real pressure on them. So I'll say again, I think whoever defends well today, if they take their chances, they can go away with 3 points. But two of the goals from both teams' perspective have been good. Mikey Moore obviously in the follow-up, exactly what you want from one of your creative players. I just feel Celtic have got their tails up now.
All square at the break. The half-time score at Celtic Park is Celtic 1, Rangers 1.
With Betfred, when you bet £10, you get £50 in free bets. So, want to back your new striker to score the first goal? Your midfield maestro to get the assist? Want to say there'll be a header? Want to see their striker caught offside? He was born offside. Want to predict the final score? Or both teams to score? Want to get involved for 90 minutes? Want to nick it in extra time? Want to bet £10 and get £50 in free bets? Want to bet? Betfred. New online customers only. 5 £10 free bets. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Grab the unrivaled Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra with an incredible privacy display on EE, the UK's best network. You can save £20 per month, plus claim a Samsung Galaxy Tab S10 Lite. Now we're talking. So get yours today. Offer ends 28th of May.
Saving on minimum 24-month 125GB airtime plan. Eligibility, credit check and terms apply. Credit by EE Limited. Claim from Samsung within 30 days of purchase. Verify best network at ee.co.uk/claims.
The all-new, all-electric Toyota CHR Plus. Sleek, stylish and quietly reliable. Available with 0% APR representative with £1,500 deposit contribution and save £1,500 with the electric car grant. Get that Toyota electric feeling. Visit your nearest Toyota centre. Price from 34495. Available on Toyota PCP when financed through Toyota Financial Services by 30th of June 2026. Optional final payment. Indemnities may be required. See website T's and C's apply.
I'm Professor Noel Fitzpatrick, and as a vet, I know you want the best care for your animal companion. Pet insurance can help, but you need to choose wisely as not all policies are the same. Pet Plan aim to pay claims quickly and without a fuss, and that's one reason why so many vets work with them.
Get your pet the best veterinary care. Save 10% on new policies when you insure at petplan.co.uk. T's and C's apply. Fits all media as an appointed representative of Pet Plan Limited.
a Rayo original podcast.
Work. It's changing, and so's how we feel about it. The podcast that will guide you through getting ahead, growing your interests, and still having a little life outside of it is Reworking. Join me, Tim Campbell, and my guests, Alistair Campbell, journalist Anna Whitehouse, entrepreneur Mike Suter, comedian Russell Kane, and many, many more. Listen from May the 11th on the Rayo app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Number 1 for football in Glasgow and the West. 0141 951 1025. Clyde 1 Super Scoreboard.
Half time at Celtic Park. It is Celtic 1, Rangers 1. You guys gave us your general thoughts as the first half progressed. What about the big talking point? Celtic's goal, the second goal in the match. There will be a debate about whether it should have been ruled out for offside. Now, there was a check. It is more to do with the position of Benjamin Nygren. So when the shot comes in, Benjamin Nygren is in an offside position, undeniably. So the question becomes, is he in the line of sight of the goalkeeper? Does he impact the goalkeeper? Cammy, you are a former goalkeeper, a former Rangers goalkeeper. It feels like you might be the best place to start.
Yeah, listen, he's definitely in an offside position, as you mentioned there. Does he impact Jack Butland's movement? No, he doesn't, because he's in front of him. Does he impact his sight line of vision? Possibly. But for me, when I seen the contact from Yang when he hits the ball, I think Jack Butland can still see the ball. His dive doesn't change anything for me. He's never going to save that shot, and that's why I think they've came to the correct decision.
We've examined it in slow motion. We've had the benefit of a slow motion replay. His vision is clearly not impaired by Nygren. I think it was perfectly legitimate goal.
I'm a full house. I agree with the lads. But it's one of those ones you've got to look at it a few times. But I think that if that's given against you, then I think you're up in arms. I think they came to the right decision for me.
I mean, it's certainly close either way.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There's
no getting away from
it. There's a lot of subjectivity here because, I mean, not that my opinion counts compared to you guys, but I thought initially that should have been ruled out. I think he's standing in front of him. Yeah. And then when you see the slow motion replay, it kind of changes a bit. I think Butland's just the other side of Nygren. You know, so you're talking like inches to the left, inches to the right.
It happens so fast. Jack Butland's actually moving because he's following the ball coming from Celtic's right hand side across to the left. He's moving across the goal naturally with the ball. So again, you're right in what you're saying is, listen, it's that timing of when does Yang make contact the ball? Can he still see the ball? For me, I just felt as if at the time he made the natural dive, he didn't change the way he was going to dive.
Again, whatever side you want to come down on this on, I don't care. That's great that we'll hear both, but this is what we're looking for. So there is impact actually isn't really an issue because, as you say, he's not touching Jack Butland. You know, he's not blocking him or that sort of thing. So it's all about line of sight. So the real question you need to ask yourself, whatever side you're on, can Jack Butland see the ball when it's initially struck?
With the benefit of the slow motion replays, yes, he can.
You sure?
Yes,
all of you.
I'm 100% agreeing with you.
We'll get the second half up and running next. I doubt we've heard the end of it. Half time at Celtic Park. Do you know, we're just seeing replays of the Alistair Johnson challenge on Mikey Moore, and I have to say it's okay to hold your hands up sometimes, because we all said we didn't think it was even a foul. So when people get to that part in the podcast, they'll say, what are you on about? Because you've seen it back in slow motion. He does actually catch Mikey Moore.
Yeah, it's a naughty one actually when you see it back. We didn't see that at the time. It looked like, because he does play the ball first, but then the follow through comes in on Mikey Moore's ankle, and it is a little bit of a naughty one.
It is reminiscent of the challenge on Alistair Johnson at Easter Road last Sunday, which resulted in a red card for a Hibs player. So you might get away with one there, Alistair Johnson.
I do agree. I didn't notice it at the beginning because you were right. We were all saying, oh, look,
Tunekte.
Oh, here he comes. I wonder who it'll be for.
McKellen.
This is so it's guaranteed if people go through the podcast and they'll say, I can't wait to tell you lot how wrong you are about that Mikey Moore, and then give us 20 minutes to catch up when we see the replays again. Accept the apology if you can. There's been a change at the break, Andrew and Scott.
Yeah, there has been one change for Celtic. It's Luke McCowan who comes off. Sebastian Tenekti comes on for him. What do you think the thinking is behind that switch, Scott?
I just think out of possession, Luke McCowan was struggling within the game. That moment, listen, it's a fantastic pass for Engels. But I think down that side, I was going to say that at half time. I felt if Rangers managed to work the ball from one side, Romans is your out ball all day of the week, and he was running away from Luke McCowan several times in that first half. So looking to get the ball wide, a bit of width in the game for Tenecki to give Rangers a problem.
Yeah, so Sebastian Tenecki on for Luke McCowan. It was a scrappy, frantic, end-to-end opening 45 minutes, and I'd fully expect we're going to see exactly the same for the next 45 minutes. Arnie Engels standing over the ball in the centre circle, and Nick Walsh checks his watch, and we are getting underway for the second half.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard Goal Flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy. Get set for the season with expert pharmacy support.
Well, anyone any closer to knowing how this one's going to end?
Yeah, I think if the team that defends well and takes their chances, I think I'll probably win it. No, I don't think it's a toss of the coin again. Who's got to start it better? Who's got to get a little bit of rubber green? Who's got to get a little decision that people think is wrong or right or whatever it may be? A bit of genius, a bit of magic. Look, we'll never know. But I'll tell you what, I do agree with the substitution.
Yeah.
As much as Tenecki has been really, really poor, he's an impact player. He's now got 45 minutes to make a big impact, and he gives them that bit of balance as well.
The life of a professional player. Luke McCowan responsible for having his pocket picked and Rangers scoring their goal. Luke McCowan then with a tremendous pass to set up Celtic's equaliser. Tenecki's problem is he's never gone past anyone in his life. So Celtic will have to put up with the fact that every time he gets the ball, he'll turn backwards. But he just might have a goal in him.
That's a sign of Celtic acknowledging early they need to go and win this. Cammy, I mean, although the guys have mentioned about the limitations that Luke McCowan showed, he did set up the goal. I feel like on another day Celtic might have just waited a bit longer to do that.
Yeah, possibly, and I think the desperation of knowing that they need to win this game, or certainly winning the game makes a huge impact to their season, is probably why Martin O'Neill's made that change at half time to allow Tenecki to get the opportunity to get his still into the game, because it's a fast paced game. He needs to get up to speed pretty quickly. And you're right, Hugh, listen, I'm pretty sure Martin O'Neill will be sending the message out to go forward, be positive, but we'll wait and see if he does that.
Well, Nygren again loses the ball because he's not up to the speed of the game and hasn't been since the game started. So at the moment I'm sticking by my 2-1 Rangers.
Hugh, the only reason he's on the pitch is simple, is they're hoping to get a goal from him.
Yeah.
You know, his overall play is...
And the fact,
not the best.
And the fact that they've not got a player on the pitch who produces goals as well. If they had a striker that was scoring 20 goals, and he probably would be off the pitch, you're right.
Going to be a fascinating one. We've just started the second half. Nothing really to glean from it yet. Dyson Maida trying to press as he does. Rangers, I was going to say initially do well. Then I thought Diomande had lost it. And then they bring it back, and that's going to be a foul for a short pull on Mikey Moore, just outside the centre circle.
Been a lot of fouls in the first sort of couple of minutes of the second half.
Start.
Yep.
There's Engels there. I've just seen him on television.
Listen, you could say that about a right few.
We don't set up the goal, to be fair. We can't keep doing this to everybody.
Yeah, great run. It's just one of those games. I think Tierney down the left hand side first half was excellent, I've got to say. There's a match winner somewhere. I don't think this is finishing at all.
It's Chermiti.
Are you going Chermiti?
Yeah.
Well, there's absolutely no chance that's
James Tavernier, it's a straight delivery, always a difficult one, but Celtic make an absolute mess of that, and Tour Romans is just going to hoist it back in. Sinisalo actually does pretty well with that punch.
Very well, because he has to get over 3 or 4 bodies, and he gets good distance on it. He's not the biggest of goalies, but he certainly gets a real good fist on that. But you're right, Celtic made a real mess of a simple ball into the box there.
So we've just started the second half, waiting to see how it settles down. That one change at the break was Tenecki on, Luke McCowan off. When will Rangers shuffle their pack? Who will strike first? And ultimately, what will it all mean for the title race? That's the big question.
Well, the Hearts supporters all over Edinburgh and other parts of the country are on tenterhooks. They know that a Rangers win gives them the title. It's as simple as that. So they are really hoping that Rangers get that second goal. But the Celtic fans are hoping they don't.
Tierney just tries to play one down the channel. Tavernier does well, and so does Giga really well to just nudge. Is it Maeda out the way? And is going to go out for a throw into Celtic though.
It's been a scrappy start to the second half for both teams. They both gave the ball away. They've not been comfortable in possession. A lot of fouls.
Well, that's some throw from Tierney. I didn't think he had that in his locker.
Is it a corner?
Yeah, it's a corner.
Celtic.
I think the tension levels rise. You know, you're into the second half, you realise the consequences of defeat, and the players get more and more nervous as time goes by.
Listen, the longer this game goes on, the more that actually gets more and more, because one mistake could cost you the title.
Do you think Celtic are waiting for their super sub moment?
Without doubt, Iheanacho, the fans will be relying on Iheanacho. The problem will be if Rangers score before he gets on.
I definitely think they're goals. There's no doubt about it. I think the two defences will give up chances. It's just who can take the chances and be clinical.
Arne Engels is going to deliver from the corner, and it's a good ball into a good area, but also a good header as well defensively, because that can't have been easy. Scales and Tavernier battling. Good block, throw in to Rangers. Good ball from Engels, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's one thing he's very good at, Gordon. Set plays, corner kicks, free kicks. He can really whip that ball into dangerous areas and put a lot of pressure. And it doesn't need to be the size of you, because it's just a flick.
I was going to say
that. Everything's on the ball, so it's just a case of getting your head on it and directing it towards goals, and you cause problems. But he's very, very good at set plays.
Here goes Yang. It's actually a really good run. If he can make something happen at the end of it, just moves Celtic across the pitch, which sometimes you need to do, and come out the other side. Tanecki sometimes can tell very early on.
Well, that's a great slip through, great ball.
Big chance. Dyson Maeda goes sliding in, couldn't quite reach it.
If he had another 4 inches on his legs, he's putting that in the back of it. That's great play from Celtic. Great ball in.
That's excellent play. Tanecki involved in it. Nygren plays the crossing, and you're right, Daz. So close, Maeda, just from touching it. All he needs is a little touch, and it's in the back of the net.
Maybe should have changed to the bigger studs at half time.
It's been a lively start to the second half. That first chance goes the way of Celtic, and here they come again. But it's well defended by Rangers once more. Or is it?
A free kick. He's got the ball.
Play on.
Well,
it's frantic, isn't it?
Yeah. You just wonder, because the thing that's always labelled at Rangers is they've not got two halves in them. You know, it's either they play well in the first half and then they fall away, or the first half they're poor and come out and really are very good. I thought Rangers did okay in the first half.
Yeah.
You know, so I just wonder how they're going to react here. Or does a manager, how long does he wait to think, right, okay, I'm going to freshen up a little bit? Is he looking at one or two of his players? You know, you look at Ant-Man. Is he happy with Ant-Man, the fact that he'll go and try and match Tierney rather than be a positive threat going forward? More defensive wide player.
It's lively from Tanecki. He always is up to a point. It's just trying to find that next bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nygren actually cut out the pass. It wasn't meant for Nygren.
You're right. 52 gone, nothing really happening for Rangers in an attacking sense in the second half yet. Celtic with that one sniff, it was a good cross, but Maeda just couldn't get there. Tierney now is going to fire one in, and it's in the back of the net.
It's beat the pundit time.
Flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Celtic hit the front, Celtic 2, Rangers 1, Dyson Maeda. We mentioned it early, give him time and he might struggle. Instinctively though, he gets himself in those areas and he scores. Kieran Tierney, whose numbers have been great on his return to Celtic, with the assist, flashes it across. Maeda from close range.
I picked out Tierney first half. I thought he's been absolutely brilliant down that left hand side. There it goes again. Look, Rangers fans will be screaming at the Rangers captain Tavernier. He switches off. No, he's on. He's on.
Yeah,
I think
he's on. Romans on the far side might be playing Tierney on. I think he will be.
And there you go again. The centre halves are absolutely sleeping, looking at the ball. Maeda, bang, great striker's run across the defender, and the ball's in the back of the net. Tavernier's got his hands up. He's praying it's offside. I don't think it is. I think Tierney's timed that brilliantly, and they've been absolutely punished.
You look along the defenders, it looks offside every bit you get to, until you spot Romans at the back, and I think he might be the one that was just too slow to get out Cammy. But let's wait and see as for Maeda, it's play on, goal stands.
Yeah, listen, that's where we spoke about Maeda 1v1 with a goalkeeper. Too much time to think about it. It's not when he's at his best. That is when he's at his best, when he needs to nick in front of a defender, flick it in towards goal. He's sharp as attacked, and he was so quick off the mark. And you're right, Daz, listen, the two Rangers centre half standing still. It's a poor goal from Rangers' point of view, but a brilliant one from Celtic's.
And what a big goal it could turn out to be, because as things stand, it moves Celtic to within 1 point of Hearts with 2 games to go. Incredible.
Yeah, but this afternoon isn't over yet. A long way to go. If Celtic were to get a third, then I think they could start to dream. But long way to go yet.
He's never getting away with that, is he?
No.
Maeda, wee shirt pull there. But that's what we talk about. He's the most frustrating player in the world. But when you need big moments, and just now he's starting to hit
I'll
for
tell
him.
you who's bringing big moments is Tierney. You mentioned him, Daz. You said it before he even put that cross in there. He's been brilliant the first half. I thought he was a real threat down. Everything that was coming towards Rangers was coming down that left hand side, and Tierney was right in the mix of it, and it was a brilliant cutback, because that's a difficult ball. It's almost like a half volley that you need to zing it in across the goal, and Maeda's there. Right,
your predictions are not great, but I think I've got an easy one for you. Gassama's getting called back. Who's he going to replace?
Oh, I think Butland. I've got to say,
caught again.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Rangers in a bit of bother here, but Celtic just can't sort their feet out. If Celtic had any composure on the edge of the box, they would have really made Rangers pay there, because Rangers got themselves in trouble, and yet somehow it's back out with Tierney on this left hand side.
Yeah, I'm looking at I think it's Chikwani in the middle of the park, and he looks like they've tied a caravan on his back at half time.
Dyson Maeda overhead kick, and it's in.
My goodness.
Wow.
My goodness.
With M&D Green Pharmacy.
Don't doubt his quality anymore. That is right out of the top drawer from Dyson Maeda. He flicked it up for himself, pulls off the overhead kick, and it loops over Jack Butland into the far corner, and Celtic Park erupts. Celtic 3, Rangers 1.
The renaissance of Dyson Maeda has been the most important feature of Celtic for a few weeks now. Martin O'Neill has got him back loving playing for Celtic, and now he is on the verge of a hat-trick in an Old Firm game.
How do you figure this guy out? He's through on goal and puts it 4 yards past the post in the first half. Now he's set the ball up for himself and bicycle kicked it into the far corner.
Wow, that is just incredible. The way it loops up and literally drops in the top corner. You're right, he just sets himself up. He's no right to even take that overhead kick on. It's so high and dipping into the top corner, just incredible.
That's sensational. I've got to say, right, let's give him a bit of credit. Connected turns Tavernier inside out, right, puts it across there. But when it comes to this boy here, Maeda, that is magnificent.
He has no right to score facing away from his goal to then generate that quality. That's just incredible finish.
Lubo Moravcik looking on with some admiration, and he knew a thing or two about scoring Old Firm goals.
What was it like when he signed for Celtic, Hugh? You get any memories of the occasion?
I said it was a mistake.
Oh right, I knew it's something in the back of my head that gets brought up every 3 weeks.
Have I celebrated the 25th anniversary of that yet? I think I made the public apology on Celtic TV. I've done everything.
Have you written to Lubo and his family?
Lubo and I have had many conversations, and on the occasion of my 70th birthday, Lubo gave me a bottle of Lubo Moravcik gin.
There you go.
But I've done everything. I've literally gone on Celtic TV and apologised for what I wrote 30 years ago. But
it's not your only mistake, Hugh, is it?
No.
Here's the substitutions.
Yeah, going to have to be impactful from Rangers now, because they look a long way back. James Tavernier goes off to be replaced by Dujon Sterling. Waiting in the wings as well is Tilo Asgard and Jedi Gassama. So Oliver Antman, Trips is off first, which is obvious, I think, because he's been very quiet. And Mohamed Diomande is the other one.
Is the introduction of Sterling an admission that you got it wrong straight away with your team selection?
I am a Tavernier fan. I have backed him 1,000,000%, but he's not been up to it this afternoon.
And that'll be his final moment in a Old Firm game. He gets a standing ovation from the Celtic fans, as loud as the goal celebration.
Yeah. Well, listen, the life of a football.
It's a tough business, this in Glasgow, isn't
it? You now have to contextualise that Celtic are 3-1 up. If they lose or draw this game now, it is a massive blow to them, to every Celtic supporter and Martin O'Neill and every player in the park. They're 3-1 up. There are 30 regulation minutes to go. The league title is in the balance. Celtic cannot, dare not, fail to get 3 points now.
This is huge, and they've put this all in such a good position from being 1-0 down. Again, they've managed to claw it back, and with some excellent goals. The start of the second half, just their goals have been brilliant. But yeah, they're in such a good position. It's up to them now.
Yeah, I said it at half time. They come in for criticism because of they can't string 60-70 minutes together, Rangers. And you're not telling me that the Rangers manager doesn't carry the can here this afternoon. He's just sent Ant-Man out into the car park to warm up. Like, and I hate picking in players, but you look at one or two of those players. Tavernier today, I think, has got to be his big mistake. And I'm a Tavernier fan, but it was all over the place.
Ant-Man's been a mistake.
Barron, who I think is a really, really good midfield player, good digger and goes in, good, honest professional. He's well off the pace. He's not played a lot of football. He's just thrown darts at a dartboard and hoped once again, and it's not happened for him.
I think the nature of Celtic's lead, the spectacular goals, if Celtic are the winners at the end of this game, Danny Rowe's job is under severe threat.
Well, there's more to come here for Celtic.
Oh, Maeda's making life uncomfortable for Giga, but he does actually really well, Giga, and it's going to be a foul.
Yeah, listen, Rangers just need to weather the storm at the moment. They're under severe pressure. Celtic know if they get that fourth goal, game's over. It's always, when there's 2 goals in it, listen, it's always on the balance.
We're seeing this goal again.
This
is
wow.
Look, sometimes as a goalkeeper or as an opposition player, you've just got to stand there and say, there's nothing I can do about that. There's absolutely, you can look at the build-up, you can look at Tavernier getting turned inside out with Tenecti, you can look at all that, but when that falls to Maeda, you've just got to stand there and say fair play.
No free kick. Yang went down. I thought it was from here, but we are miles. The camera view on that one was quite far away. We get a zoomed in version, hopefully. To be fair, there's not really any major protests from Celtic. Yang still is, his arms outstretched.
It's amazing the way that this game has swung like a pendulum. You know, there was a point in the first half when you thought Rangers had the dominant factor. Now Celtic are all over, swarming all over Rangers, looking for that fourth goal. And the afternoon has taken quite an astonishing turn.
I think they know the importance of the fourth goal here. Yeah. Again, it gets them home and dry. And it's so important because they don't want, it could be a set piece that then puts them under pressure. We've spoke about the significance of this game for the title, so yeah, I think they're after that fourth goal.
Yeah, as I say, the consequences of not winning from this position are horrendous for Celtic because the league's gone. But as it stands, if Celtic win their next 2 games, they win the title. They're in that position now.
I think this weekend, if this stays the same, has been massive. Yeah. Right? I think you used a great phrase at the beginning of the show, Gordon. Hearts opened the door, and I think Celtic are running right through it just now as we speak. Now it's up to Rangers. Can they respond? Because Cammy's right. When it goes 3-2, if it goes 3-2, it becomes a bit nervy. Of course it does. But just looking at this, has Rangers get the character to even get back into this? Because that's been questioned all season. We've seen it
recently as well with Celtic when they're on cruise control against St Mirren in a really good position. Then they put themselves under pressure. So that's why I think they're going really. Oh, that's a chance.
Yeah, Celtic's tails are up. Yang's in the box. His first cross is cut out. He's twisting and turning, and he gets that one across, headed up into the air though. Rangers need to be careful. Don't want to lose any game, obviously, but they certainly don't want it to become ugly. And that cross was ugly from Kieran.
I'm going to have a wee go at Maeda here, right? He got his first goal with a brilliant run across the striker. See, when he sees that, I'm watching him and I'm thinking, there's the same run. And he doesn't make it, and it's an easy clearance for the centre half. But listen, he scored 2 goals. Who am I to criticise? I only scored 1.
63% possession in the second half. Cammy, quite damning that for Rangers because this is not a brilliant possession-based Celtic team. You know, we've seen that all season. I don't even think the Celtic fans would be upset at that assessment. So to have them have so much of the ball in the second half doesn't reflect very well on Rangers.
No, they're stunned at the moment. They're absolutely stunned at the way the second halves came about. The 2 goals have really hurt them, and Celtic have been brilliant since they've
Here's
scored them 2
Nygren,
goals.
edge of the box, left-footed, but he just takes too long. Does give it to Tanecki though. He'll try and bob and weave, but he's got a couple of players for company, and they do well to defend them.
To be fair to Tanecki, he's had an outstanding contribution to the second half. And he does look more forward going than has often been the case.
Have you noticed Celtic, they're starting to play better now? Have a look at many touches McGregor's now getting.
Yeah.
You know, he's getting the freedom of Celtic Park. He's dictating how Celtic are playing.
That quarterback, isn't he?
In the first half, he wasn't allowed to do that.
Bit of a slip from Celtic as they tried to keep what was, until that point, a good period of possession. But it certainly looks like the home side, with the bit between their teeth, summed up there as Emmanuel Fernandez just tries to hook it and it goes out of play.
Well, 25 regulation minutes to go. The title is in the balance. Celtic have to negotiate the next 25 minutes.
I'll be honest with you, Hugh. I said about a big weekend. I think if Celtic see this through, the title's theirs.
Well, the equation is simple.
I do.
There's a long way to go.
Think they think they definitely win it for Park on Wednesday?
Yeah, I do. I really do.
The momentum created by an Old Firm win and an emphatic one can do wonderful things for a team, but as I say, until they get the 4th goal, then it's not over.
A free kick to Celtic. Everything that Rangers were getting right earlier in the game is just gone, Cammy. It looks like now just kind of second to everything, giving away fouls.
Yeah, I was going to say second best. You beat me to it. They've been second best in this second half. Really, really poor. They've never got going. Yes, the goals have taken effect against them, but they've not reacted well since they've conceded them goals. They've really just collapsed almost. Not got a grips of the game. Celtic, for me, just need to keep this intensity up, because if they keep the intensity up, I don't think Rangers get near them. If they drop off and allow Rangers free kicks, set pieces, and then they can lose that goal, which puts pressure on Celtic because they know what's at stake, then that'll play into Rangers' hands. But if they keep playing the way they're playing, I think they get all 3 points.
Well, Rangers need to come up with something. 66.5 gone, 3-1 down now, and Celtic fans celebrating in the sunshine. They know the significance of this scoreline should it turn into a result. And we've used this cliche a few times, but Mikey Moore there,
he's been all over the place, Trusty, today. I don't know what it is about him. He's looked uncomfortable. I don't know. Chermiti's probably get the better of that battle, but he's been all over the place. He's one of these guys. He's either brilliant or he's absolute hopeless.
He's not enjoyed the great time of this fixture.
No, he hasn't. No, and yet I see him sometimes with scales. Look, I'll give him a little bit of leeway here. I think he's better, obviously, in the left-hand side. He looks more comfortable. But he's been really poor this afternoon for me.
I think Chermiti plays a part in that. You're right, Gordon, that he's not been great in this fixture. Chermiti puts a real physical battle up against him, and he doesn't seem to handle it very, very well.
Yeah, Rangers, it'll be interesting to see if they can just alter something. It actually reminds the kind of change in one half to the next in this fixture has been remarkable all season long.
And the one accusation, or one of the accusation that's been levelled against Danny Rule, is the second half flop that comes over Rangers. It happened at Tynecastle last Monday, but as I say, they like the Celtic players must understand the consequences of not winning this match, and now the match is 1/4 of the way to go.
You just don't see where Rangers, apart from maybe a set player, a bit of magic, is going to get back into this game.
There's 2 subs that have came on with regards to Asgard and Gassama. You've hardly seen them. They've hardly touched the ball since they came on, so absolutely zero impact so far.
Well, there's a ball down the line.
That's better defending.
Well, no, it's not. Austin Trusty runs it out for a throw-in. Rangers try and take it quickly. It's not down
there.
It's a half-hearted claim at best, I think. And it's not often you get such a meek claim in this fixture, which might tell its own story.
Yeah.
Again, that slack moment from Trusty. He does brilliant initially, and then just knocks the ball out of play, and Rangers take a quick throw in, which causes a little bit of chaos when Chermiti brings it in the box. So they just need to keep switched on, Celtic.
All the managers are there: David Gray, Jens Bertolascu, Jim Goodwin.
Jens getting measured for his club suit.
Unless Hibs finish above Motherwell, what are you going to say then?
Yeah,
but David Gray get it?
Something stupid.
You might. Although that point for Motherwell last night, does that move them safe in fourth? They still need to play Hibs.
Yeah, is Hibs after his last game of the season?
Yeah, Easter Road.
Yeah, that'll be a good game.
What do you think?
Fourth place. Trusty done again.
Yeah, they deserve fourth, I think. But Hibs, terrific result at Falkirk. I called it yesterday. I'm on fire just now.
Brilliant from Mikey Moore. Really well done, but he's not really got any reinforcements in the box. And Celtic are able to head clear. But the bar has been set low in the second half, but it's just slightly better from Rangers, you'd have to say, Cammy.
Yeah, they're up the pitch, they're in Celtic's half, they've got possession of the ball, and we've not seen a lot of that in the second half. It's another ball over the top that Moore does brilliantly.
Mikey Moore had an extremely quiet opening 25 minutes of the second half. Now he's really come back to life again.
Yeah, they've got to get him on the ball. It's okay saying, people be quiet, but you've got to get the service. It's like Chermiti. I think Chermiti is working very hard for Rangers, right? But he's there to score goals. He wants balls from wide areas, decent balls in there to say, listen, I've got the better Trusty here this afternoon. Get them in there and I'll go and put pressure on and attack them. But Rangers are offer nothing from that direction.
The Celtic players are dropping back further and further. Have they got a little bit nervous now? They're commanding or supposedly commanding lead, but Rangers are now entering a phase of the game where they're in charge.
And this is the important phase for Celtic to make sure they don't switch off, they don't give any opportunities away, because if Rangers score, the atmosphere in that changing stadium completely changes.
Yeah. That's a great play down the left-hand side. Is that Jigga?
Aye.
My God, he's like a winger.
Corner Rangers.
Wow.
That's great play. The only thing I'm a bit frightened, the Rangers need to sort of take chances now, put people forward, like Jigga going there, and is it Fernandes there?
It was Fernandes.
Fernandes, sorry.
Yep.
Try and put people forward, try and get players in the box. Celtic, with their pace up front, could maybe just catch them on the counter-attack and kill this game completely.
At one point you thought that Celtic were looking for the fourth goal, but as I say, they're falling further and further back as they bring on Reo Hatate.
I think that's a great move.
Control the game again.
I think that's a great move. I'll tell you what, I know he's been poor. I know that fans have said, he's wanting a move, he's thrown away, he's forgetting about playing with Celtic now, whatever. The one thing you can't take away from this guy is he's talented, he's brilliant.
Well, the thing is, he's not had many high points this season, but
no, 100%.
The one would be when he came on against Rangers in the previous meeting. Was that the cup game? Which one was it, or was it the one prior to that? Anyway, when he came on at Ibrox and changed the game.
He did change the game. He took control of the game. Him and was Cal McGregor still on? Did he come off? I can't remember. But again, he certainly took control of the game, and that's what Celtic needed at this moment. They were losing a little bit of control.
It's brilliant from Mikey Moore. He just
tackle.
He was trying to do it all in his own.
Tierney's been excellent. The one thing you'll say is Hatate coming on the pitch, for me, makes Celtic stronger rather than weaker. Well, do you know how you bring a sub on because and
who's he coming on for? Who do you think?
Negan, all day long.
Yep.
All day long. If it's not, I'm going to have a chat with Mark myself.
Rangers definitely looking more threatening and not managed to properly threaten the goal.
Look at that
Celtic panicking.
Yeah.
Oh, here's Chermiti. He's got a sight, but it's a really narrow angle. That gets him off with the accusation that he shouldn't have taken on the shot because he was at such a tight angle.
Celtic
to try to put that across the face of goal.
Celtic are inviting Rangers to score.
Yeah, Engels just panicked there.
Yeah.
Just panicked.
Kicked it straight to the Rangers.
Exactly. Absolutely panicked.
Right, so it's livened up again. It looked like Celtic were going to cruise to this, and they do still have a 2-goal advantage, but nowhere near as comfortable on the balance of play as they were. Good header, Liam Scales. He's defended quite well at times, hasn't he?
But you take the words right out of my mouth. Ball's in the box. He's been there. Another great ball back post.
Yeah, I think that one will be. Is it another corner? There's a facial knock to Arnott Engels. It was Giga round the back. Send some applause the way of.
I'm agreeing with the boys here. I think Celtic just need to be a little bit careful. A goal for Rangers all of a sudden.
It's panic stations.
I agree with you. I totally agree.
What we got? We got 14 minutes of.
Johnson's down as well.
2 head knocks.
Is that a goal kick or a corner?
I think it is a corner. I think Giga headed it down and it came off Arne Engels and went out, but he's taken a sore one. I didn't really spot the one with Alistair Johnston initially, but he's in some pain as well. So it's going to be a bit of a lull here.
Water break in the middle of May.
Yeah, Engels slowly but surely getting back to his feet. Alistair Johnston a bit slower, but now back up as well.
I would have waited, because the second one always gets a bigger applause. I'd have kept it out of the corner of my eye. Right, he's up.
Right, and now we can finally get the game back underway. So Tello Asgard, the man with the corner, holds his right hand up into the air to signal his intentions. Can he execute it the way he's trying to? And you look at the Rangers' height advantage. It's a really poor ball, doesn't get beyond Callum McGregor.
Terrible ball, Gordon.
That's everyone's bugbear, that, isn't it? When a corner doesn't. There's
a wee break
for Rangers. Big break, because a clearance actually cannoned off a Celtic player, and it looked like it was going to set Celtic on the attack with all the space in the world to run into. Goes out for a throw-in.
Tati now gets a chance to come on. Nygren, Dazzler called it correctly.
It wasn't hard to call. There's a rumour going about that Rangers are bringing Ant-Man on. I think this guy, if he can come on, and I know he's had a real poor season. I know that he'll probably leave Celtic, but the one thing he's a talented player.
Bojan Miovski coming on, so Rangers go back to the two up front. Tochi Chukwueze is the man coming off.
He's went off the pace a bit for me. When he came in earlier in January, I thought, what a real good signing. He looked looked a bit of a class player. I think he's fallen off the pace a little bit for me. He's disappointed me in the recent months.
Yeah, I totally agree. I felt as if he's a big physical presence and he was really good when he first came in, but you're right, it seems to have dropped off in the last month or so.
Dies in mind, I can't quite keep it. There's also renewed energy now about Rangers, Cammy, but it makes you think, well, where's that when the game's level? What's the point at 3-1 down?
Listen, that's always the question from managers. Is it's easy to play when you're 2 goals behind. It's when you're on level terms to try and go and take the game to the opposition, especially in derby matches like these.
Fernandes.
He forgot the ball. It was a great run if he'd just taken the ball.
Fernandes. He did so well, and then, as Gordon says, just left the ball behind. But Yang gives it straight back to him. Celtic are wobbling a bit, but Rangers haven't managed to create that much.
Great defender
within that wobble.
It's okay. So he likes to be a bit feisty.
Yeah, but handbags between two Romans and Alistair Johnston.
We Mikey Moore's in there. Look.
Oh, for goodness sake!
Come on,
honestly. Like it's when they'll pretend to push and shove each other.
I know.
See, if there's something real in it, that's fine. We like that. Give us the entertainment.
You grab me first. Nick Walsh, total control. If I was Celtic right now, I'd be making the substitution. I'd have Iheanacho on to hold the ball in for me and get us up a bit the pitch.
Yeah,
I don't think Celtic are getting up the pitch now.
No,
keep Maeda on. Maybe look at obviously it'd be Yang. It would be coming off, and it gives you a focal point to get the ball into feet and get them up a little bit. I think now that Rangers, you're right, they're playing with a bit of freedom, nothing to lose, the game's away from them, and they're starting to control it a little bit for me. And if they do get a goal, then it's nervous time.
Yeah.
So I think I'd be looking at that substitution.
Booked for talking to Nick Walsh, or whatever he said when he was talking to Romans, booked for reacting to Alistair Johnston when they tussled in the corner.
Yeah, I get Alistair Johnston in really well, because Romans tries to get round him, but Johnston uses his body really well. And to be fair to Johnston, he kept his cool, because there was obviously a little bit of handbags there. He's already on a yellow card from the first half.
What an astonishing game it's been.
Yeah, it really has, and not done yet.
No, not by a long chalk. And Celtic now, 12 minutes of regulation time to go. There'll be a hefty bit of time added on, I have to think. But Celtic, it must be going through the players' minds how close they are to a quite remarkable result that could be immense in terms of the title, but they cannot help but give the ball away.
Chermiti now takes a sore one. Scales will win the book for that. Keach caught him in the face as he tried to spin away from him.
To be fair to Chermiti, I think he's worked it. I think he's worked away very well. You know, he's showed a bit there, a bit of desire. He comes in for a lot of criticism. I think he's caused Scales and Trusty a lot of trouble today. Unfortunately for him, he's not had the backing that he should have had. and that's the problem that Rangers have got. Another set play. This is their best chance, I think. So if the set play coach has got to keep his job next year, he better get his finger out as we speak.
Connor Barron is over it. He's had a quiet afternoon, but has the chance to change that in the remaining 10 of the 90, but we'll go deep beyond that, you would imagine. And he's just going to outswing it from just outside the corner of the box. One man Celtic wall, and a lot of defending to be done. We keep mentioning the height advantage that Rangers do seem to have. It's not a bad ball, and it's headed straight at Sinisalo. I think with the outswinger, he was quite far out. Giga, it was just unlikely to trouble the goalkeeper, was it?
Yeah, it was straight at him. Ended up being straight at him. Sinisalo takes it nice and easy. But again, it's where Rangers will probably be most successful if they get any success in these last sort of 10-15 minutes.
Maeda, he might be offside. He's clean through.
He must be
he's
offside.
Clean through, Dyson Maeda, and he's missed again.
Oh my goodness.
Offside.
He was offside. But
I could
see if I was Dyson Maeda,
I'm shouting at linesman, I'm off, mate.
See, every time I went through 1-on-1, I'd just turn and come back, flick it up, overhead kick it, do what you need to do. He is off, but not as far as I thought he was. But he's offside. But again, why does he struggle in those finishing positions so much?
Because he's got time to think. Listen, I was a striker, and I know what like it is. See, when you've got time to think, 100 things go through your head. Do I go round the goalkeeper, go to his right, do I go to his left? See if it's just a ball across and you're in and you've got a finish, it's completely different. Here's the substitution.
Alistair Johnston goes off. He's not played loads of football recently, and replaced by Anthony Ralston. Yang goes off to be replaced by Kelechi Iheanacho.
Here's a bit of paper coming on.
It says, if we win this 2 games, we win the league.
No,
win the game. That's what it says.
Are you pizza pasta after a game? Take the box.
Well, Iheanacho is on. We know that if he gets a chance, he's quite likely to take it. But what's his overall contribution going to be in the balance of play? That's the question mark that sometimes hangs over him. Luckily for him, Celtic are 3-1 up at the moment. Neither side looking particularly confident in possession here. As Gassama picks it up, he's not managed to really do much since coming on, and that's
he's not got to do much, you know. What's a free kick?
Dyson Maeda, 1 too many for the referee.
To be fair, that's a fair call. That's a fair call, and you know what I mean. You can't criticise the referee for that. I think that's a right call.
It's also not bad from Maeda. It's on the halfway line. It breaks up play again. He works ever so hard to get back. Yes, he leaves one on the Rangers player, but again, you don't mind it.
So it's just floated down the line. Celtic defend it. I think Tierney's race is now run. It might just be cramp at this stage.
Maeda just gave the ball away there. Incredible.
Yeah, I would get Tierney off the pitch now. He's struggling.
limping.
Yeah, he's struggling. I think it's cramp, Gordon. He's been up and down that flank for 82 minutes now. He's been absolutely excellent this afternoon.
Sarachi would
I like him, Hugh. I like him. There's something about him I quite like. I think he's
another dimension.
I think he's a willing runner. Everything about him.
It's a long sweeping ball from Barron. Doesn't reach its intended target, but I think it goes all the way through to Romans.
Anthony Ralston wasn't aware of a Rangers player behind him.
He was not. So Rangers with the chance to put the ball in the box. They do, but they put it too far. Gassama will keep it in though. There's a lot of overhit crosses here. Tries to go round Maeda. Maeda just stands his ground and hacks that away. Celtic sitting in now.
Yeah, Iheanacho's not got to chase that down the flank, let me tell you.
Dangerous game they're playing.
Dujon Sterling again. We've not seen loads from Rangers substitutions. Would that be a bit disappointing? Tierney is down. Will he go off?
Yeah, that's
surely.
Yeah, of course he is. That's why he went down there, just to make sure that substitution was made. I totally agree with Gordon. I was actually thinking about that. When you make substitutions and the amount that Rangers have made, you're looking for impacts. You're looking at, like, Celtic made it at half time, connected right away, impacted the game, made the goal for Maeda. So all of a sudden you're thinking, right, somebody go in there and show me, get an impact player on there, get a goal, get an assist, get whatever it may be. Rangers don't seem to have that in their locker for some reason.
Yeah, the change is pretty swift. Kieran Tierney off, Marcelo Sarachi on.
Tierney's been excellent. He's been fantastic today. Obviously got the assist, but again defensively done ever so much work to make sure that Rangers' right hand side was kept quiet. I mean, the only probably one you look at is we'll speak about the physical presence of Rangers. Is obviously Sarachi's a lot smaller than what Tierney is, so set piece wise it'll just weaken them a little bit.
You've got to ask the question: how many, especially second half, many saves as the Celtic goalkeeper had? You know what I mean?
It's been poor.
That's a squad that needs ripped up and start again. Rangers, they're just.
It's a squad that's cost a lot of money, though. And it's costing a lot of money.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter. You're not going to win anything with that Rangers squad. Let's not be kidded here.
Kieran Tierney's 8th league assist of the season. It's quite a contribution, isn't it, from left back? Because I know there's obviously a lot been made. He hasn't finished a lot of games and all that sort of stuff, but it's still been, when you look at those numbers, he scored a good few as well compared to what he normally would.
He's been incredible. Again, I'm a big fan of him. I think he gets up and down. He's so influential for Celtic, and he's a big player. And listen, you can see why he's went off today, because he's put so much into that left hand side. He's been up and down the game. He's been brilliant today, and listen, his return this season has been great.
I think six goals in all competitions, is it?
Which is brilliant from Tierney from left back. As you say, it's more than he normally produces, but I just think the influence in him from what he is in the Celtic team is huge for them, and he's getting more and more minutes. He's lasting longer as well, so it's going to be
Rangers very close to getting robbed in a crucial area. Celtic spring to life. Rangers get the advantage.
Do well Rangers, get to the other side. A wee chance to get down the left hand side. Cod Celtic have probably overrun it.
Fernandez does so well, and then overruns it and leaves one on Anthony Ralston.
Or does he?
That's the accusation, certainly. The free kick is given.
Let's see it, we're slow motion here.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, but it's slow.
It's low enough.
It's one of those, daddy mammy.
Possibly lucky.
Daddy mammy. You ever had a daddy mammy? Oh, daddy mammy.
Possibly lucky not to get booked, but it's never more than that. Like,
not at all. Very low, foot to foot. Just overran the ball and takes the pressure off Celtic a little bit.
What do you think? 7 or 8 minutes to be added on?
Oh yeah, for sure. What was it for Park last night? 8 or something, I think.
See, to be fair, Hugh, you could right now I'm looking at this and I'm thinking you could add on an R30 and Rangers ain't getting back in this.
It'd be a mistake, or a set piece that we spoke about. They're not creating anything, so it would be out of the blue if they did score.
That period of possession there, or territory, or whatever you want to call it, Rangers had, it just never seems to come to enough, does it? We mentioned even a lot was made about some people said that it was a brilliant first half against Hearts last week, but it never really amounts to as many chances created as you would like if you're Danny Rule.
There's no penetration on the opposition goal, and that's the big thing. Ralston's in control of that. Yeah, listen, there's no that's the big thing. You can have possession, you can be in control of a game for periods, but you've got to penetrate the opposition goal, and Rangers just don't do that. They'd never see a game where they've had 15 shots on target and they've really made the opposition goalkeeper work. They're not that type of team. And again today, they've had periods where they've been in the game, but they've not hurt Celtic at all.
Majowski, a booking.
I don't think he got booked.
I don't.
Just a foul on Ralston.
This puts the Rangers manager under a huge amount of pressure.
Yeah, of course.
This result.
3 league defeats in a row, if it is indeed a defeat today. Unacceptable. He was going along nicely until he met Motherwell at Ibrox. Motherwell booby-trapped the season. Hearts put the kibosh on it, and for the third defeat to be against Celtic, I know what we're talking about between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock when the lines open.
I think the big problem is, Hugh, that he's since he came in, he's never been put under the pressure because he had to follow Russell Martin. When the big questions have asked, all of a sudden he's starting to baffle everybody. Like Ant-Man. I think none of us picked Ant-Man to start the game today. None. And then you look at his substitutions, you look at the formations, you look at what he's trying to do. Like, even people were criticising him last week at Tynecastle when Derek made a wee tactical move. And then he comes out in some of his press conferences, he's had a go at 1 or 2 players. He's starting to feel the heat for me, this guy.
Anyway, let's finish this one off first, then we'll get stuck into what it means for everybody. Still 90 seconds of the 90 minutes to go. We'll have a good number of minutes added on, you would imagine, and then it is over to you. As Hugh Keevins alluded to, fire up the phones. 01419511025. Get ready, and on that full-time whistle, press call. I mean, you could do it now, I suppose, if you wanted. Just don't know if Hugh's Nokia will answer them yet until the game is finished. It's very stop-start this end to the game. It probably suits Celtic better.
Absolutely. Celtic just need to be professional. In this last 10 minutes or so that's left in the game, whatever's added on, as long as they keep their full concentration, don't put themselves under any unnecessary pressure, then they're going to be in a brilliant position for these last 2 games coming up.
Rio Hitati booked for delaying the restart, or standing over the ball, as you and I might want to call it.
Well, good chance here.
Rangers got a chance in the corner. Celtic defender just did enough to put a bit of weight on Tour Romans and nudge him off balance. And now Celtic look to come up the line.
That's good.
Iheanacho's a really good
brilliant
move. But Iheanacho is not really the one to be able to bust the gut.
He's doing alright. He's getting there.
Getting the way Maeda does.
He did 56 red bus.
Is this a slip from Callum McGregor? Really poor, because Celtic had good control there. They actually decided to turn back from their own attack because they're 3-1 up. You could almost sense that, couldn't you? They felt no need to go forward.
Yeah, and they've done the right thing for me. They were in control, and Callum McGregor, it's just a moment of lack of concentration, switched off for a second, the ball rolls away from him, and then now Rangers are in possession. But again, everything's in front of Celtic. There's nothing in behind, which was causing them
4
problems.
minutes.
Not long.
You're at 4 minutes to be added on.
Well, if they've any chance, they've got to make this count. They've got to make this count to give themselves any hope at all. And even at that, it's a big ask, but it's an opportunity. We've been talking about the height advantage. We've been talking about Rangers dangerous at set plays. They've not really tested the goalkeeper at all. This has got to be their moment.
So Conor Barron with another chance to put the cross into the box. Rangers just have not threatened.
Somebody's down. There've been some
Trusty, is it?
Oh, no, it's a wee mammy daddy.
Yeah, it was Austin
Trusty. Yeah.
I think it's his toe he's had stood on. Get on with it if we can.
Yeah.
Barron now takes the steps back. I mean, if Rangers could muster something here, you just never know. It's flicked on, but still going to be kept alive by Giga. Maybe not the position you want him to be in, but he's won a corner.
Yep.
Get a goalie up, surely. I'm a big advocate of goalkeepers coming up.
I totally agree with you.
Nothing to lose
now, yeah.
I don't care what team it is. I always just like it when the goalie comes up. It's just like being a wee boy again. And this novelty factor of did you ever go up, Cammy?
I didn't like running, so
you stayed back.
Listen, yeah.
I'm not that big for a goal either.
No, not much a goalie either.
I'll be sharp though, won't I?
Right, corner to Rangers. In swinger, it's headed away by Dujon Sterling almost. He got his head on it, but not the required direction.
A perfect clearance from Celtic as well, whoever it was. A big looping one, long up the pitch back to Jack Butland now. 2
Celtic players press him. I'm not sure the wisdom of that.
No, exactly.
You don't really need to, do you? Because then it allows Jack Butland to just pass it between you.
Takes 2 players out of the game.
And then you've got a man, taking out the game. Stuck at Asgard, but Asgard nutmegs him, did brilliantly. Here's Rangers into the box, fired across, going to be another corner.
McGregor trying to claim for offside, but his full backline was well beyond him. Just looks a little bit tired, McGregor running back there.
Do you know I think's done well today? Scales.
Yeah, he's been excellent.
I really do. I think his positional sense, I think Trusty's had a poor game. I think Scales has been excellent. Obviously get that new contract, a lot of people questioned it.
Corner to Rangers, another in swinger again. Yeah, really good jump by Liam Scales, powerful defending from him. Romans will get a second go at it. It's the bar, and Sinisalo takes it. Rangers coming close, but you start to suspect that is the opportunity gone.
Fate is sending you a message. When the ball hit the bar, that was fate sending out a message. Rangers' day is done. We're into the last minute of the time added on. Celtic just have to be efficient. That's all they have to do, just be efficient, and the day is theirs.
Yeah, we've played 93. That was the chance for Rangers, you suspect?
Yeah. It was a good ball, and Majowski does well to get just ahead of Scales, but there's enough pressure for me from Scales just to probably put him off from getting it in towards that top corner, and it just falls into Sinisalo's hands perfectly for Celtic.
Sirachi accused of whacking Romans, which he may well have done. It looked fairly accidental on first view as they both tussled for the ball.
Why is a left back doing away over here?
So he took the corner, didn't he?
Oh, that's what he did. So let's see it here.
Yeah, they're both just trying to jostle for position. Not that makes Tour Romans' nose feel any better, I should say. Bustling run from Mikey Moore. He's just almost crowded out. The cross comes in. This must be the last chance for Rangers. The referee gets in the way. That will do his popularity the world of good, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Asgard keeps it. Is that going to be a foul? Another free kick to Rangers?
Too late now, though, isn't it? We've hit the 4 minutes. They'll probably allow this to play, and then that'll be it.
Yeah, Tanecki was the man who committed the foul. Iheanacho's discussing something with the ref, not entirely sure what. Celtic trying to urge their players back into position.
Well, the time is up.
Yeah, this will pretty much be it. Even if Rangers do score, I think it will be the final act. We've gone beyond the 94. Connor Barron just curls one, and it's not a terrible ball, but just evades everyone.
That's
and I think that
kick,
probably will be that. Certainly once the goal kick is taken, Martin O'Neill stands, hands in that Adidas tracksuit pocket, waiting for that final whistle. And there will be mass celebrations because it really strengthens Celtic's position. Still work to be done, though. Who knows what will happen in the next 2 games.
Yep.
But certainly Celtic had to win this one today.
It's
and there we
over.
go. Here's Scott Allan and Andrew Maclean.
Celtic 3, Rangers 1, the full-time score at Celtic Park. And from the reaction inside this stadium, this is the day that the Celtic supporters are truly starting to believe that this turbulent season could actually end in success. Daisen Maeda's second half double downing Rangers, sending Celtic 1 point behind Hearts and piling more pressure on Danny Rule. It was end to end from early on, with Arne Engels and Yusuf Chermiti both getting shots away in the opening minutes at the start of the first half. The first team to take their big chance, though, was Rangers 9 minutes in. Fernandes with a reverse pass into Chermiti at the edge of the box. A lovely chop to take Trusty out the game. His initial shot was blocked by Liam Scales, but it rolled into the path of Mikey Moore, who finished on the rebound at the near post to put the visitors in front. Celtic should have levelled when Daisen Maeda was played through one-on-one by Yang, but it was a really poor finish from the Japanese striker. Martin O'Neill's side did manage to draw level before the break. Smart play down the right. Luke McCowan with a pass into Arne Engels in the box. He cut it across for Yang, and he made no mistake putting it into the bottom corner for the equaliser. Rangers claiming that Jack Butland was unsighted by the offside Benjamin Nygren, but the goal stood following a VAR check. There was a change at the break for Celtic, with Sebastian Tanecki coming on for Luke McCowan, and Celtic started hitting their stride. Nygren a ball across to face of goal. Daisen Maeda just couldn't make contact in the 6-yard box, but it was a sign of things to come. His first goal came when Kieran Tierney got in behind James Tavernier. He fired a low ball across the 6-yard box, and there was Daisen Maeda getting across Emmanuel Fernandes and providing the finish for 2-1. And in a season of unpredictability, who saw this coming? A few minutes later, Daisen Maeda propping the ball up for himself, back to goal in the box, and executed an incredible overhead kick that looked over Jack Butland and into the top corner to double Celtic's lead. It sparked wild celebrations from the home fans and plenty of chants about winning the Premiership title. Bojan Miovski hit the bar with a header right at the death, but Rangers failed to put up much of a challenge after going 2 goals down. Martin O'Neill's side doing a lap of honour on the pitch right now, and they are right back in this title race, and surely full of confidence going into the final 2 matches. It had already been a tough week for Danny Rule, whose name is being sung around us by the Celtic supporters. More pressure building on him, with Rangers now losing 3 consecutive league matches for the first time in over 25 years. The full-time score at Celtic Park is Celtic 3, Rangers 1. It was a pressure-filled game, Scott Allan. It was about who handled the pressure best, and in that second half, it was certainly Celtic.
Yeah, Celtic definitely went through the gears in the second half. Rangers couldn't get close to them down that right-hand side. James Tavernier doesn't defend crosses, and ultimately Rangers get punished. Maeda takes the first one, gets across from a fantastic ball in from Kieran Tierney, as you said, and then he's seconded after. Now it's an incredible overhead kick, and after that I'm looking at the Rangers players' body language. They lack belief, they lack character, and overall, Andrew, it's a real lack of quality. I think the only pass marks would have been Mikey Moore, at least showing some personality in that second half, trying to go on the ball. But Celtic more than deserved that victory. Just too much for Rangers in the second half, and they have all the momentum going into this week.
Yes, huge celebrations going on around us from the Celtic supporters, and a game like this, a win like this, 2 massive matches coming up. These Celtic fans, these Celtic players must have real belief that they could go on and win this title now.
Yeah, that was always going to be the test. Game by game today, they came through that test. I think it was as good as I've seen them in a number of months, to be quite honest with you. They have a really difficult game at Firth Park during the week. 1-0 off the back of that, but they'll believe they can go and get the win. I wouldn't rule out Motherwell managing to come up with something and make it really difficult for them after the last time out at Firth Park. But it's not going to be. They've really put the squeeze on Hearts now. Pressure both sides of the cities in Edinburgh and in Glasgow. But what a fantastic result for Celtic today.
Jubilation for the Celtic players, who are still taking the acclaim of the supporters. Barely any home fans have left the stadium. It was a swift exit down the tunnel from the Rangers players and from the Rangers supporters making their way out the exit. The full-time score at Celtic Park is Celtic 3, Rangers 1.
And now you can give us a call on 0141 951 1025. Whilst you do that, let's keep at Celtic Park and soak in the post-match scenes, because, Scott Allan, every time Celtic beat Rangers or Rangers beat Celtic, there's a celebration after the game. That goes without saying. Is there a palatable belief in the air, you think, amongst these Celtic fans and players that this could be the day that pushes them towards that title?
The belief is certainly there, Gordon. From what I can see here, there's a connection between the players and the fans. I think when you come out the second half and you blow away your biggest rivals like that, it obviously adds to that. But we spoke about Maeda at the top of the show. He has been the catalyst of the Celtic's winning streak over the last 4 or 5 games, and again in the second half come up with the big moments. Questions will be asked about that right back position in the Rangers team. Danny Rowe, questions will be going his way, because not good enough from a Rangers point of view since they've come into the split. And I just looking at the body language after the second and third came in, Gordon, it is a real worrying sign. This is a squad. I'm looking at the players playing today. I think of that squad, only 5 of them you would maybe keep getting into next season. I said Mikey Moore, he showed personality, Chermiti at times, but just not enough quality. And Celtic were there, they went through the gears, and just far too much for Rangers in that second half.
Yeah, let's talk about Celtic first, Scott. What was better about them in the second half, and then we'll look at the other side of that coin as well.
Just the energy. I think the energy, they were moving the ball about with a lot more crisp about it. I think they definitely targeted that right hand side, as I spoke about. I think Teneke coming on obviously gives you a different proposition from Yang on that side. Yang has done really well down the right hand side, and they just constantly kept asking questions down that side, and it allowed them to get the 2 goals in the second half. So just a real controlled performance in Celtic in the second half, and Rangers couldn't live with it.
And I'm almost certain we'll have a perception of injustice from the Rangers fans who maybe felt an offside issue with the first goal, or that Alistair Johnson should have been sent off, and we can work our way through that as the afternoon progresses. But above all that, Scott, how concerning is this drop off that seems to happen within games for Danny Rule and Rangers?
But I think it's a huge concern. There's no getting away from that. And I'm adding today, and the game last week against Hearts, the game before against Motherwell, they just can't string a 90-minute performance together. And I look at the money spent, I just can't see the quality. You're out with Fernandes, who I think, with better players round about him, could go into big things. I wouldn't be surprised if someone puts a bid in for him in summer, or he's one of the players saying, I might be looking somewhere else. Mikey Moore's a lone player. I don't see him coming back to Rangers next year. Chermiti, yes, there is a player there, but again, you could maybe look at the quality throughout the squad. I just don't think Romans as well at times, and he has been out injured. There's just not enough quality in the squad, and today that showed, and it was a reaction to going behind for me that would raise huge concern among the Rangers support.
Again, phone lines are starting to heat up. We'll get through this, but sort of briefly, in terms of where this comes back on players, where it comes back on the head coach, where's the balance of responsibility for you today?
A bit of both. Rangers obviously go a goal ahead, and you're thinking they're going to go in there and make it hard. In amongst being in the lead, they made some really poor decisions on the ball. They were loose at times, and then when Celtic obviously get the equaliser in that first half, you're thinking second half, time to reset. Rangers just didn't start the second half anywhere near the level that they should have, and they just couldn't match Celtic's energy. And once they go 2 and 3 behind, there was no way back from the huffed and puffed putting balls in the box. But if anything was going to come, it was either going to be a set piece or a long throw, and that can't be the go-to for getting back in a game for a club like Rangers for me.
How will this be received in Gorgie?
I think there'll be nerves in Gorgie now, looking into midweek. They'll be looking for Motherwell to do them a huge favour. There's no getting away. They can be one of the teams who come up with something. They'll have a lot of the ball. It's whether they can take their chance. They're obviously looking to finish as high as possible, but I just think off the back of that, Celtic will be getting into that game full of confidence.
Right, come on then, let's get stuck in. Scott Allan will stay with us from Celtic Park. Hugh Keevins, Cammy and Gordon Dalziel very much here to take all your thoughts on that. How big a result is that for you Celtic fans? What does it do for your title aspirations? How damaging a result is it for you Rangers fans in the context of the season? Is Danny Rule to blame? Are the players to blame? Where do you go from here? You might have noticed one or two hotly debated moments within the game. Such is the way of it when these sides meet. So if you want to argue your case about them, you can do. It's the same number for all of the above. Even you Hearts fans, if you can bear it, if you've come out from behind the couch, you could give us a call as well and let us know how it feels for you. 0141 951 1025 right now, and we're going to fire up the live stream as well, so head over to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you normally watch, and you can see the guys in action as well. We'll speak to you very soon.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard. Watch as well as listen. Check out our YouTube stream now. The Clyde One Super Scoreboard podcast was brought to you by White and Mackay. A calm head amongst the chaos. 18 plus. Keep the heat and always drink responsibly.
I'm Professor Noel Fitzpatrick, and as a vet, I know you want the best care for your animal companion. Pet insurance can help, but you need to choose wisely as not all policies are the same. Pet Plan aim to pay claims quickly and without a fuss, and that's one reason why so many vets work with them.
Get your pet the best veterinary care. Save 10% on new policies when you insure at petplan.co.uk. T's and C's apply. Fits all media as an appointed representative of Pet Plan Limited.
From countryside escapes to seaside breaks, and plenty of open roads in between, there's a Mazda for every kind of summer. Get 0% APR on selected models when ordered by the 30th of June, and keep your mind on the really important stuff, like trying to eat that ice cream before it melts. Search Mazda. Available on PCP when financed by Mazda Financial Services by the 30th of September 2026. Indemnities may be required. Terms apply. See website.
The people of Britain love their fancy blenders. They've bought loads of them. And luckily, if they bought them with Barclaycard, they earned rewards. In fact, they'll earn rewards on all their eligible purchases. It's a more convenient way to consume your fruit and veg. What you buy is your business. Giving you rewards on purchases is ours. Barclaycard, backing your future. 28.9% APR representative variable, subject to application, financial circumstances and borrowing history. T's and C's apply.
You can't do much in under 5 minutes. Boil an egg? Sure. Cook a roast dinner? No chance. But comparing car insurance prices with mustard.co.uk? Easy. See what you could save in just a few minutes. Click mustard.co.uk. Authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. See website for details.
What's on TV? The answer is a lot. There's never been more choice over what to put on the box with an abundance of great new shows, but you can miss them all if you don't know where to look. And that's where the Pilot TV podcast comes in, your essential guide to every show that matters. Each week we sift through the very best in prestige TV to help you decide what's worth spending your time on and what isn't. So join me, James Dyer, as well as venerable TV critics Boyd Hilton and Kay Ribeiro, and let us help take the stress out of your downtime. The Pilot TV podcast, because you can't watch everything.
The Clyde One Super Scoreboard podcast with White and Mackay, full of half-formed and loudly voiced opinions. It's like your local pub on Clyde One. Smoothly does it. 0141 951 1025. It's time to talk football. It's Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Hugh Keevins, Gordon Dalziel and Cammy are in the studio. Scott Allan is still there at Celtic Park. Andrew Maclean will be going down to get all the reaction to another blockbuster encounter between Celtic and Rangers. A 3-1 win for Celtic, a win that not only keeps their title hopes alive, but boosts them 1 point behind Hearts with just 2 Premiership games to go. How exciting is this going to be? It's also a result that not only rules Rangers out of any slim title hopes, it consigns them to third. They can't catch up on second place now either. What does that mean for the season? How does it reflect on Danny Rule? And what do Rangers do going forward? As is always the case when these sides meet, a few big talking points as well within there. Should Celtic's equaliser have been ruled out for offside? Was Alistair Johnston lucky to stay on the pitch? All of the above and more, I am absolutely sure. 0141 951 1025. But to kick off, you, It's about what this means going forward.
Yeah, Sunday of consequences. Celtic now in a position where if they win 2 games, they win the title. I put that into the miracle category, given that they've had the Wilfred Nancy episode, they've lost Brendan Rodgers, they've brought in Martin O'Neill twice. Martin O'Neill has been unbelievable for Celtic this season. Without him, this doesn't happen. Absolutely nowhere near to happening without Martin O'Neill. For the other manager, Danny Rule, when the Celtic fans are singing your name, and I couldn't help but hear that when you were talking to Scott Allan, they are having a laugh at you. And Andrew Kavanagh can't have a man who is laughed at. And Andrew Kavanagh has to ask, the investment was huge, £40 million, and Rangers finished third. So Andrew Kavanagh has to ask himself and his other board members, did we do the right thing by appointing Danny Rule after doing the wrong thing by appointing Russell Martin in the first place? Day of heavy consequences for Rangers, a day of potential for Celtic, a potential title is 2 games away.
Let's dive straight in with the calls because Mark is first through. Mark, as a Rangers fan, sum up how you're feeling after that.
How you doing? All right?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Despair. Absolute despair. Naivety is the word I use with a lot of these players. They run around like headless chickens. I watched that fully in Rangers when I was at 6-year-old. I'm 64 now. And what would we done in his grave watching if he was watching that? Honest to God. That is, I don't know where to start with him. I've lost. That's 3 games in a row now. I've watched him score 1 goal and trying to hold on to 1 goal against teams like Celtic. It's absolutely, just as I say, I don't know where we're going to go. Can't keep changing managers all the time. But again, he's taken on a team for a previous manager. I know they've spent that amount of money, but I just don't know where we're going to go. Naivety is the word I keep seeing. The individuals, they don't seem to play as a team, and you're up against 2 wily old foxes, and Derek McInnes and Martin O'Neill, and you've got the young pretender, and he's got a long way to go if that's the case. We need somebody with experience. I know he was at Bayern Munich, and that doesn't matter, but he's in charge of one of the biggest clubs in the world, and we are not performing like that.
What's led to this then? Because obviously a couple of weeks ago you and your fellow Rangers fans, I'm sure, thought that you had certainly had a good chance of winning the league, and if not, you might even have considered yourselves as favourites to win the league, and yet, as we've said there, it's now arithmetical. It's guaranteed third, trophyless as well. I actually feel like it's been lost in the last couple of weeks. People have stopped mentioning the cups because we're so fixated with the league, which is the most important thing. But guaranteed trophyless, guaranteed third with a couple of games to go. How does that sit with you?
Well, I don't like. I've seen Rangers win a lot of trophies over the years. I've followed Rangers, as I said, when I was about 6 years old. My father was the president of the supporters club way back in the 60s and 70s. So was my grandfather, and I've Rangers through and through. And I've seen a lot of bad Rangers sides, but this is going to be the amount of money they've spent. As you said, it's absolutely ridiculous.
No
team's got a right to win every single game with the players they've got. They've not got a right to win it. But a team of that standing should be putting a bit more fight into their games. I watched the captain, and I watched him, I watched McGregor, and I watched the difference is night and day.
Scott Allan, I was going to throw to you because some really good points made, I think, and points that the Rangers fans will share. Just wanted to lean on your eyewitness experience of having been there. Just how did it end so meekly for this Rangers team today?
I just think second half Celtic came out with their tails up, moved the ball quicker, seen where they could cause problems for that down that right hand side of Rangers, which is clear to see. I think Hearts done the same thing on Monday, and just kept working the ball there and asking questions. And then in your box, listen, Maeda, he ain't the easiest guy to pick up. There's no good out. He always gets across his man. He gets a fantastic goal to put Celtic ahead. But once that goal went in, the heads went down. As I said, Mikey Muir, the only one showing real personality to go and get the ball and try and go by a guy. Out with that, it all fell to pieces, and it looked like a team of strangers at times, especially in that second half. Considering there was some really good parts, they were well in the game in the first half, but it's nothing that we haven't seen all season regarding Rangers. Can't can't put 90-minute performances together, and 3 defeats in a row at the time where you're having to produce your best football, or at least football that allows you to go and win games. It just hasn't been good enough. And you can look at selection, you can look at shape, all that sort of stuff, but I think the big concern for me is the amount of money spent and the lack of quality that goes with it.
Rangers had lost 2 games prior to the split. 2 games in 33. Now comes the split. They've lost all 3 since the split began. So that's what piles the pressure on the shoulders of Danny Rule. The second half collapse has become a Danny Rule characteristic. They were 2 up on Celtic at Ibrox, drew 2-2. They were 1 up on Hearts at Tynecastle, lost 2-1. Against Motherwell, the second half collapse came right at the very end because they'd gone from 2-0 to 2-2, 20 minutes left to play. You're waiting for the third goal from Rangers, and it's Motherwell who score.
I mean, Mark, this is the first time in nearly 26 years that Rangers have lost 3 consecutive league games. Now, there have been some ropey versions of Rangers teams in the last few years because of where the club found itself and so on, stuff you don't need me to recap at the moment. So, but for this to have that record sort of broken, if that's the right phrase today, 26 years since you lost 3 league games in a row.
We won the league during COVID. Remember that? They won it during COVID, empty stadiums. It's almost like these. Sometimes I think to myself, are these players scared? They come into a stadium like Celtic Park, a fantastic venue, got a lot of Celtic pals, and they'll be laughing, they'll be enjoying themselves now. But I watched that the day, and I just thought to myself, I mean, I took a bet 4-1, there you go, and it wasn't even against my own team. 4-1 Celtic. I wasn't far away. But I just think to myself, previous managers like Walter Smith and previous managers before him, they just knew how to get results get the best out of players. So they did. All right, there's different money nowadays, but they've, as you said, they've spent about 40 million quid. We're still not enough further forward. I'm looking forward to the summer holidays and see what happens.
There has to be some kind of review, to finish third, to be confirmed as third in the Premiership, having spent £40 million, having replaced a manager in the beginning of the season. Andrew Kavanagh has to conduct some kind of review. The buys have not been good enough. Is the manager good enough? That has to be the question for Andrew Kavanagh going forward.
I'm sure we'll get to his position very soon. See this notion as well, Cammy, about it being not being able to play for a full game, maybe a sort of a good half and a bad half. See if that is the case for Rangers where they can't do it for 90 minutes. See the so-called good half, does it actually need to be better? Go and get yourself 2-0 up then, although I know that's not always a guarantee either, but go and get yourself 2 up, go and score again, go and really, because I think what's been it feels in the last couple of games, what gets described as a good half for Rangers actually isn't that good to begin with.
No, and I think that's a measure of where Rangers are at the moment, though. Again, we're describing them as a good half, but you look at teams in the years gone by, they would dominate games, they would have very good spells. Again, when I was playing with Kilmarnock years ago, you'd be 3-0 down, they would have a good half, and they would maybe have 30 minutes where they'd take the foot off the pedal. This Rangers team can't do that because they're not good enough. They can't get far enough ahead for a start, and they're very vulnerable. When they've had a good half, they still feel really, really vulnerable as a team at all points. I don't think they have complete control of any games. You probably look at every single game this season. Rangers haven't played for 90 minutes. They've been really poor in games. Again today they have a decent first half. I wouldn't say it was outstanding. I think they were in the game, they've done okay. In the second half, again, as soon as they lose goals, Mark mentioned it, the heads go down. You stop believing, and that's not a Rangers team for me. You need to go to Celtic Park. If you concede a goal, you need to go there and stand up and be counted for and react to that. And this Rangers team can't do that.
I don't think they're good enough, to be quite honest with you. You can sum it up any way you want. There's two games, 2 massive games from Hearts. Derek McInnes makes one tweak, half-time. Rangers fall to pieces, can't handle it. Celtic made one simple change at half-time because, as Scott Allan says there, he was watching it from Celtic Park. You see the bigger picture. Down that Tavernier side, Tanetti come on, took Luke McCown off, all of a sudden, more direct, turns Tavernier inside out. Tavernier gets caught for the ball over the top of Tierney as well. And I'm not just blaming everything at Tavernier, because that's what happens with Rangers supporters, they just go for the captain. I think overall, as a group and as a team, they ain't good enough to go and win a league. I've never thought they were. But the manager has to take a big responsibility.
Thank you, Mark. What about Frank? What do you take away from today, Frank?
Just normal for Rangers. No good enough. These are the statistics. We're out of the 2 cups. We're third in the league. We've won approximately half our league games. In the 3 post-split games, we've been beaten in the 3 of them. Hearts have scored 2, Celtic scored 3, Motherwell scored, I think it was 2 or 3 against us at Ibrox. The guy's no good enough for Rangers. It's as simple as that.
So it is on the manager for you. You think this, we need a serious discussion about what happens in the dugout going forward?
I've been on before, months ago. I doubted the guy's mentality to get a team together. There's no structure in that team. There's no promise in that team. The best thing the chairman can do is to sack the manager, sell Raskin, whose time is up at Ibrox, sell Shermite, sell Fernandes, and start again with a new manager.
Scott Allan, you do the today bit for us, and the guys in here do the big picture. Then what does today do for Danny Rule, or the stuff that went wrong today, I should say, sorry, how much is that on him?
First and foremost, personnel for me. I think we can all probably agree on that we're surprised that James Tavernier started today, knowing that Celtic would obviously target that area of the park. I think you look at Monday night, didn't defend well, didn't come out with covered in glory if I would defended that, and then as soon as questions asked him again. So I think first and foremost personnel. Raskin's out injured, so Barron has to come in, and listen, he works hard and he gets about, but long term I don't think he is the answer in the midfield for Rangers. For me, out with that, Mikey Muir and Chermiti have pass marks for me. Romans at times looks to get forward, but they don't, nothing's really deliberate in how they play. It's when Celtic did obviously take the lead, Rangers started pumping it long, it became second ball. Celtic scooped everything up and just worked the ball and were patient with it, and then they go and get a third, and Rangers just were bereft of any idea or imagination out with that, or out with Mikey Moore taking the ball in the half turn and amongst the bodies trying to go and create for Rangers. Out with that, nobody stood up to the fore and wanted to be a guy to take responsibility and go and create and go and show a bit of personality. So a lot of it is on Danny Rowe, and he doesn't change it. Gassama comes on, and that's where we're at. We spoke about it at the top of the show, didn't we? With Scov Olsen, Gassama, Ant-Man, not good enough, and money has been spent, so it does have to. I take into account tactical stuff. He was tactically outdone the first game against Motherwell, second half, and then they get back in the game. They don't manage the game. Hearts, they were okay in the first half. Second half, tactically outthought again from Derek McInnes, can't get back in the game, lose the game. Today, personnel would have been the question on everybody's lips at the start of the game. Second half came out and doesn't have the answers. So there will be pressure on Danny Rowe, and I think the questions are allowed to be asked.
Such as the analysis saturation of everything in Glasgow and shows like this obviously add to it. There's not an angle you've not heard here. You know the counterpoint to the Danny Rowe must go is you got to tune out of him to begin with. Can't keep sacking managers. Give him a pre-season. That's the counter arguments are all built on that. Do they carry enough weight for you?
At the moment I'm struggling to defend him. He's starting to do his job in a bewildering fashion. Scov Olsen at Tynecastle was bewildering. Ant-Man today at Celtic Park, bewildering. I do understand the argument, but you can't go on sacking managers. Well, since Steven Gerrard left, having won a league, Rangers have had Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, they've had Philippe Clement, they've had Michael Beale, Russell Martin, and now Danny Rowe. 5 managers in the last 5 years. So Rangers do keep on sacking managers.
Is that even more reason to stop?
Well,
because that's when you get rinse and repeat territory.
Andrew Kavanagh hasn't been involved long enough to understand the way the parallel universe works. But when the Celtic fans en masse are signing the Rangers manager's name, it's because they think Rangers have got a poor manager and they would rather he stayed. But the Rangers fans think he's a poor manager because of the bewildering decisions that he makes.
I don't like jumping on. No, but hold on, I was going to say on that, right? I don't like Hugh's madcap theories that supporting them makes me feel dirty, right? You're not going to sack the manager because the Celtic fans are singing. However, there is in this mad world just something symbolic about once it gets to that stage.
Yeah.
You know, like it just seems like there's something in the air when that happens. Of course, Andrew Kavanagh's not going to say, Danny, I'm sorry, Celtic fans sang your name, so you must go. Don't think even Hugh's suggesting that, but there is something just once the question mark gets so big that's when that sort of stuff starts to happen.
I think he's in a bad place. I think he needed a result today. I think he needed that chance to finish second. They would have probably saved him, got him over the line, and then given him the transfer window in the summer and kick on from there. I don't buy, and I've said this for weeks now, I don't buy this Rangers fans saying, well, we were so many points behind Hearts when he came in after Russell Martin. They were top of the league.
Well, but also, see now, that's actually gone anyway as an argument because of the points deficit. You know, it's nearly back at what it was, and you've had all that time to make up for it.
He's come into 3 massive games. We all agreed, and I think we all agreed that he came out the transfer window the strongest, right? Because everybody was thinking, good signings, 3-4 good signings there. Brilliant, let's kick on from there. Everybody fancied him to go and do it. There's no structure. There's nothing. Every time somebody tweaks something against his team, and I'm not just holding the blame at his door, I think his players aren't good enough, right? You can go and sit here and take everything into accountability. See if you've not got players that are good enough. It doesn't matter what you do.
Okay, but just on that, could you love this one?
Right.
Is the Rangers squad worse than Hearts squad?
As in ability-wise?
The quality of the players.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Because you're saying the squad's not good enough, and I get your point.
I would take the Hearts squad over the Rangers squad.
Seriously?
Would you? Yes, I would. Yes.
All of it?
Yes. Not all of it. I think there's a Mikey Moore.
I think you're underestimating the job of a manager. I think you just need to look at Celtic. Again, you look at Celtic's squad. I don't think it's a strong
Hearts
squad.
Hearts have got the best 2 strikers in the league.
What I'm saying is
11.
Right, their centre half has been absolutely magnificent.
Nobody's saying Hearts aren't good, but you on paper, the Rangers team must stack up against the Hearts team.
But well, tell me, right? You're have a look at Rangers today, right? Diamandi. Would you take Diamandi?
But can a good manager?
Tavernier's getting hounded out of Rangers. You've got Chermitu. I thought
you don't think Tavernier would get a game for Hearts?
Right now, I think Derek would probably stick with what he's got.
Don't really have a right back, to be fair. They just keep trying to stick people in there.
I think Hearts as a squad, as players, and the way they play are better than what Rangers
But do you think a good manager for Rangers could get better results than Danny Rose getting? With the squad that's there?
I still think
with a system that suits the players to get results.
I still think you'd have your weaknesses.
I
know you're going to go to Martin O'Neill. I still think you would have your weaknesses.
Yes, you would.
I think Rangers are very individual. I think there's 1 or 2 players there, like the Mikey Moores of this world, I think are very, very good players, and I think that boy's got to be a terrific talent. But they're average Joes that are playing with Rangers.
There might be some, but Chermiti's shown what he's capable of. Nicholas Raskin, as everybody always bangs on about, is a Belgian international. Everybody keeps saying you're going to get a lot of money.
Nicholas Raskin has done nothing in months.
You're going to get a lot of money for Emmanuel Fernandez. I think everybody agrees Romans looks decent. That it's not a dreadful squad, is it?
I think you can get a lot more out of that squad for me.
And I'm just talking about on paper. Listen, you can't polish it. They're third. It doesn't matter if you say they're good on paper.
And once again, without a trophy, once again, coming out the January window, spent all the money. Once again, everybody's saying how strong they were. Once again, they get to the top of the league. And they can't string 60 minutes together.
So people are asking if that's the manager's fault, but you're just shrugging the shoulders and saying, nah, the players aren't good enough.
Right, okay. Does the manager carry the can for the fact that players can't put in a performance for over 60 minutes?
If, as Cammy says, on the other side of the city, the manager's the one that's getting all the credit for the good results.
Yeah.
But the manager, I think the manager's getting the credit because what he's doing, he's organised. But the players in the pitch, it's like Motherwell, right?
So you just say that he's organising it. Martin O'Neill's organising the team to go and get a result.
The players have got to go and do it.
I think
I agree with that. I agree with that.
2 things can be true at the same time. I think Danny Rule is now behaving in a bewildering fashion, and at the same time I think he has players who have ability but lack attitude. I think that the way they went about their business in the second half today against Celtic, they were never going to score if they'd been given another 45 minutes. And when Maeda scored the magnificent second goal that he scored, that was it for them. Mentally, they collapse.
Frank, is there nothing in that stuff that you just can't? You can't keep sacking managers. Why not give them a pre-season? All the stuff that is offered up. Do you not buy any of that at all?
Not at all, because quite simply, beginning next season, it could happen again, and then we're fighting for a league again. We're struggling. The only way to deal with this is to go and get the Motherwell manager, and he doesn't need a lot of money, because he looks as though he's intelligent enough to get players playing. This guy doesn't know how to motivate players. Walter Smith would be turning in his grave if he seen the attitude and the response for these Rangers players. Now, Celtic thoroughly deserve to win the day. Hearts thoroughly deserve to win at Tynecastle. Motherwell thoroughly deserved to win at Ibrox. Failure. It's got to change. Simple as that.
Strong stuff. Thank you very much. Let's bring in William on the other line, see what he thinks. William.
Hello, Gordon, Hugh and Cammy.
Hello, how are you? Well, daft question, but tell us why you're so annoyed.
well, for me, right, you listen to the Danny Rose before the game starts, right? He's talking about his team, right? You look at Celtic, right? They've got a player I think it's Mazuka, nowhere near the squad, right? He's been doing well in training. Jack McLean would have played him. He's come out and said Antman playing well in training. He's not been anywhere near the team for weeks, and he's playing in a big game like that. And Sterling should have been right back today, because Tavernas gave away a goal. He's been a great servant, but I don't like going about. But for me, right, I'm one of these Rangers fans today, knew Celtic were going to win because they wanted it more, because they needed it more, because we were out the league. Alarm bells were ringing for Rangers when we drew with Livingston, and that was months ago. Then we get 4 draws, and now we've had defeats, right? Danny Rowe, to a point, has done his job, right? But I think the Americans are going to pull the plug, and I'm going to tell you the reason why, right? We need a manager who... Celtic getting behind, but an fair play to him, right? He's dug him out a hole. We need a manager where we can get behind. Give him a top-class manager, give him 3 or 4 years. We've done with Gerrard. And I don't want to keep sacking managers. I'm not that Rangers man, right? But
you won't give the next guy 3 or 4 years then, will you?
Sorry?
You won't give the next guy 3 or 4 years then, will you?
No, we need a top-class manager, Gordon, where we can, like Gerrard, who we gave the 3 years, you know what I mean? And then he left after the next year because he didn't get back to the money, right? We need a manager where we can get behind. And the panel are saying is may motivate. You see Gordon Dalziel, he's talking a lot of nonsense, right?
Yeah, I know.
Hearts are a better team.
I'm using a voice assistant to convert your voice to text.
Mm-hmm.
What's happened?
The person just cut him off because he's talking a lot of nonsense, because Hearts are a better team because they're sitting top
individually. Let's cut to some of that which I thought was interesting, Hugh, because let's rewind to when Danny Rule was appointed.
Yeah.
It feels like a long time ago. So much has happened since. I never quite know if it is fair to keep going back to this, so stop me if you think it isn't. It wasn't a universally popular appointment anyway.
No.
And maybe there's a landscape thing here. Maybe we as a city can't attract the type of manager we think we can, or we used to, and that maybe goes for both clubs. But was he first choice? Was he second choice? Was he third choice? He wasn't that experienced. We had a real split, I think, on the phones when he was appointed.
Yep.
Can this guy do the job? Now, that stuff we're simpletons at times. That all goes away if you just win football matches.
Yeah.
But now that we know that he's finished third and won't win any trophies, does that show that it was wrong back then? Or is it not that simple?
It was a messy appointment because Steven Gerrard wouldn't take the job, basically. And Danny Rule had previously asked for his name to be withdrawn from the shortlist and then was given the job. It's now, and trying to be careful here, but it's now assuming Wolf and Nancy proportions because of the sudden nature of defeat, followed by defeat, followed by defeat. If this was in the middle of the season, I think he'd be under pressure, greater pressure than he is now. But There's no doubt that a fortnight ago Rangers were title contenders, and now look at them. And the fans are outraged by the sudden reversal.
Okay, does the short-term nature of that collapse then leave any room for the possibility that Andrew Kavanagh will be a bit more composed about it and point to that and say, I'm not sacking a manager, I'm not ripping all this up because of a 2-week, 3-week collapse?
Fingers are now going to be pointed at Andrew Kavanagh as well, because the Rangers fans are going to say, you appointed Russell Martin, how could you possibly arrive at that decision? And then, in place of Russell Martin, you appointed this man who had previously taken his name off the list. And, as I say, defeats of this nature post-split are causing the Rangers fans immense anxiety. And I think we have to see how Andrew Kavanagh reacts to this, because people will say, not only does Danny Rule not know what he's doing, he doesn't know what he's doing either.
Scott, what do you think? You witnessed the man in action, so to speak, today.
Well, I think we've got to go on history. When questions were asked of Russell Martin and the pressure then came on the 49ers and Andrew Kavanagh, they pulled the trigger and sacked him. I think if the same sort of pressure then comes off the back of how Danny Roll's Rangers teams performed in this split, then I wouldn't be surprised if they did make a decision come the end of the season that they may be better looking elsewhere. And I'm not one for saying always sacking managers, but I think tactically the last 3 games, looking at it, and then the personnel, when you're in the heat of the battle, the team just didn't look like they had the guts for it, and that would be the real concern. So history tells us that they did sack Russell Martin, so I don't think you could rule anything out.
It's crazy that this sentence will be uttered in Glasgow, but is there room to say that, I mean, if he'd at least finished second, you know, like that's never been good here, that's never been acceptable. But you see what I said this before the game, so I'm not just saying it now. We treat failure as black and white. There are degrees of failure. Third is worse than second. Rangers are staring at Conference League qualifiers. How does that fit into your business plan if you're Andrew Kavanagh?
Yeah, listen, I think Dad said it. He needed a result today. He needed a result. He didn't get one. And again, it was so poor. The second half was miles off it. Rangers were second best. They didn't deserve anything from the game. And listen, for me, I know everyone's saying you can't keep sacking managers, but you need to have the right manager in place. You need to believe that guy in place is the one that's going to take you forward to success. For me, at this moment in time, questions have been asked over the last few weeks. Danny Rule got himself in a position to go and win a title. That's when you're judged as a Rangers manager, when all the pressure comes your way, when you need to win big matches. He's not done that.
His wheels fell off at Fir Park.
Yeah,
the warning signs were there.
You going back to that?
Yeah.
Tactical, but they went top after that.
I know, but
I think
the questions started getting asked about him, and then all of a sudden the next one was he can't put 2 halves together here, and then the one after that was managers are making wee tweaks. Derek McInnes made a wee tweak, and okay, I keep going back to it's 11v11, whatever, but tactically, as a manager, you've got to combat that. Today, Martin O'Neill made the easiest thing you've ever seen in your life. He brought on an attacking player, rather than Luke McCown there on the left-hand side, he brought in Tenecti. All of a sudden, it changed the game, and you're looking at that Rangers team thinking, apart from a set play, did you ever think they were going to get back in the game?
Stephen William really took issue with Antman playing. It's one of those ones you'll know what that looks like before and how big a call it is and how out of left field it is, so it almost just has to work, doesn't it? It needs to, because it's then two games in a row where you've this has to reflect on the players as well if they're underperforming. But Scott Olsen, it was the same story on a Monday night.
To compare and contrast Martin O'Neill with Danny Rule, Martin O'Neill had 6 players come to Celtic in the January transfer window. None of them had anything to do with today's game. Martin O'Neill takes a look at players that he might not necessarily have had anything to do with arriving at Celtic and thinks, if it's Mvuka, Adamu, Shvanchara, whoever, no, not for me, and they are simply sent out to Siberia.
William, we lost you, but we've got you back. Do you want to give us your parting thoughts?
Yes, I would. Not very good. No, I think your arguments. I'm going to give you a big up. See Motherwell, right? There, Gordon's. I'm trying to get through to Gordon's point. Gordon's point is Motherwell are playing better than the Rangers as a team, right? They definitely are, but they've not got a better squad. That's how I think we need to go in a different direction as a manager.
A fair point to you.
Yeah, but see if a new manager walks in there, right, a better squad. Scott Allan, I was listening to Scott Allan talking there for Celtic Park, and he turned and says, I'd keep 5, right?
Yeah.
So, as a new manager walking in there, is this better squad, this great squad? I think a new manager would rip that right up.
They may well do, but
do you know what I mean?
But at the core, to be fair to William, I think it's a fair point, and Jens Bertolascu has become a really annoying comparison for people. But if a manager's job, at any level of any football team, is to get the most out of the group that he's got, so
is he doing that?
Is he doing that?
Who?
Danny Rule.
Danny Rule.
Is he getting the most out of them players?
No,
so that group of players is capable of better then?
Well, I think there's some of them capable of better.
No, that group, we're talking about them as a group.
But you can't just say every single one of them.
I'm not talking, we said group. Because I'm not going individually. Is that group of players better, capable of better than what they're offering?
The team better and capable?
Yeah.
Over 90 minutes, probably no. I don't think they're capable.
You think that's the Rangers team's level?
Well, it's shown it.
Well, Danny Rule needs to stay then.
It's shown
if he can't do any more.
No, I think Danny Rule, I think it's the wrong players, Gordon.
That's what I'm saying, so it's not his fault, so he'll stay.
I think, well, he thingied everything in the transfer window in January, did he not? He brought the players in. They're not good enough.
I'm just trying to understand. So you think the players are absolutely fine? The management's fine.
No,
it's just the players.
I think it's a mixture of both. I don't think
the manager could get more out of this.
I don't think the manager's tactically aware of what's happening in the game at times when teams go up against him, right? And secondly, I don't think the players that he's bringing in is improving Rangers and going forward.
I think an experienced manager can get results with them players. I honestly do. I think an experienced manager will approach the game differently with them Rangers players and can get results with them players. I'm not saying them Rangers players in the squad at this moment in time are the answer going forward, because I think they can bring in better quality players long term, but I genuinely think an experienced manager would get more.
We're doing it, go to break, right? So for the avoidance of doubt, I just want to know exactly where we sit. You don't think a different manager could get more out of this group of Rangers players?
I don't think a different manager will win the league with that squad.
It's not asked.
Well,
could they get more
obviously.
No, because they're third. The next step would be second. I'm trying not to be
I don't think they finish second.
I'm trying not to be too patronising, but just, if you could answer it. You don't think a different Rangers manager could get more out of this group?
No, I don't.
Wow. 0141 951 1025. We'll take more of your calls when you return. Lots of men out there want to feel more confident in the bedroom. In fact, 1 in 5 men have issues as they get older. That's why MedExpress is here to provide support in minutes through a free online consultation. By completing the short online consultation, they'll suggest the right treatment for your concerns, all from the comfort of your home. And you know you're in the right place. They've been one of the country's leading online pharmacies since 2013 with over 1.5 million customers. Their UK-based clinical team will support you every step of the way and send your medication straight to your door. And the best bit is the whole process is online, so you don't even have to visit your GP. So no more planning or pressure, just confidence when you need it most. Visit medexpress.co.uk to check your eligibility and get 30% off with the code SUPERSCOREBOARD. That's Super Scoreboard, all one word, when you check out at medexpress.co.uk.
Now with Lidl Plus, collect points that you can turn into possibilities. Pepper abilities, pasta abilities, burrata abilities, kayak abilities. So collect and spend your Lidl Plus points on hundreds of rewards or money off coupons. Lidl, more to value. Exclusions apply for T's and C's. Lidl.co.uk/LPTV 18+ GB only.
With Betfred, when you bet £10, you get £50 in free bets. So, want to back your new striker to score the first goal? Your midfield maestro to get the assist? Want to say there'll be a header? Want to see their striker caught offside? He was born offside. Want to predict the final score? Or both teams to score? Want to get involved for 90 minutes? Want to nick it in extra time? Want to bet £10 and get £50 in free bets? Want to bet? Betfred. New online customers only. 5 £10 free bets. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18+, gambleaware.org.
The all-new, all-electric Toyota CHR Plus. Sleek, stylish and quietly reliable. Available with 0% APR representative with £1,500 deposit contribution and save £1,500 with the electric car grant. Get that Toyota electric feeling. Visit your nearest Toyota centre. Price from 34495. Available on Toyota PCP when financed through Toyota Financial Services by 30th of June 2026. Optional final payment. Indemnities may be required. See website. T's and C's apply.
I'm Professor Noel Fitzpatrick, and as a vet, I know you want the best care for your animal companion. Pet insurance can help, but you need to choose wisely as not all policies are the same. Petplan aim to pay claims quickly and without a fuss, and that's one reason why so many vets work with them.
Get your pet the best veterinary care. Save 10% on new policies when you insure at petplan.co.uk. T's and C's apply. Fits all media as an appointed representative of Petplan Limited.
Tackle the headlines. 0141 951 1025. Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Hugh Keevins, Gordon Dalziel, Cammy Bell are here. Scott Allan still at Celtic Park as well. We'll keep him for a bit longer, will we? Not let him go just yet. Make him stay. Make him earn his keep. We're waiting for your calls. We're still here for over another hour. So 0141951 1025. The post-match reaction from the managers will start to come in as well. Andrew Maclean will be away there finding out what their stance on it is. One thing's for sure, they'll be feeling very different from each other at the moment, Hugh.
Without doubt. I am finding it hard to put into words what it would be like if Martin O'Neill won this title. This has been a chaotic, occasionally shambolic season for Celtic. There is nothing that can take away from the job that Martin O'Neill has done on two separate occasions. I spoke to David Hay, the manager who gave Celtic the last unbelievable title win in Paisley in 1986. I spoke to him for a piece for the paper this morning, and he said, with regard to Martin O'Neill, he may be 74 years old. He may not have managed anyone for 6 years prior to replacing Brendan Rodgers, but knowledge is eternal. That was the phrase he used, and Martin O'Neill is showing what we've been arguing about here, about what effect the managers have on teams. Martin O'Neill's knowledge and the effect it's having on the Celtic team is incalculable.
It's a long-standing tradition in Scottish football, maybe even further, that the losing team gets most of the analysis after, because you're looking at where it goes wrong. We've done quite a lot of that already, and I'm sure we will continue to. But let's look at Celtic's picture as it sits tonight. Chris, is it an optimistic title-winning picture for you now?
Yeah, I thought today, I thought everyone in green and white today was brilliant. I mean, I've obviously been a big, as you guys know, I've been a big criticised of Liam Scales. I thought he was brilliant. I thought the midfield was brilliant. I thought Dyson Maeda, I've been wondering where he's been all season. I mean, today was absolutely fantastic, and of course his overhead kick just summed it up. But I think it's now a case of go to Firth Park on Wednesday, deal with Motherwell, and then as long as you take it to the last day in your own hands, I've still got the belief that we can win this title.
We'll know how big it was today. Still work to be done.
Yeah.
Deal with Motherwell, says Chris. We'll wait and see on Wednesday. But it's a much better picture than people thought it would be.
When you say if Celtic win the next two games, they win the title, stop and have a think about that. You know, this is the team who were laughed at, ridiculed in the earlier part of the season. A club at war with itself. All the sack the board business. Martin O'Neill has unified the club and got the team playing. And what he's done for Dyson Maeda, I do not know. But I'll invite your comments, Chris. Was that goal from Dyson Maeda the equal of Henrik Larsson's goal that everyone talks about?
That's huge. What a question. Chris?
Right, that Dyson Maeda overhead kick, in my personal opinion, is better than Yusuf Chermiti's against Celtic. It's better than Larsson's chip, and I'll probably get shouted off my daughter here, but it's better than Scott McTominay's against Denmark.
Nah, you've taken it too far. You took it too far, Chris. It was I don't know, how would you compare them? Have we two good overhead kicks in Old Firm games in the one season?
Yeah, just incredible.
Yeah.
Would you pick one?
The Larsson goal is iconic.
That's not we can bin that as overhead.
No, but that Martin O'Neill's first game, remember, first Old Firm game as Celtic manager, that was Henrik Larsson's goal, and now in his what may be his last Old Firm game, he's found the equal of it from Dyson Maeda.
Listen, the significance of Dyson Maeda's overhead kick today was massive, because it gave them that little bit of a cushion. Listen, they didn't need it in the end, but as a player on the pitch, you know the tension, you know the pressure that's on the line in that game to get that third goal and make sure you've got a little bit of a lead and just breed confidence within the team. I think it was massive today for them. It was huge.
Do you not think it's because he didn't know what he was doing? Because every time he went through on the goalkeeper, you're thinking he ain't going to hit the target, and then all of a sudden he gets back to goals and you're thinking, right, that's fine, he ain't going anywhere. Next minute it was fantastic. But
I was going to say he's found form at the right time. We weren't saying that Was it in the first half, that chance?
Yeah,
it was.
yeah.
When he goes through it, I mean, that was like 3 yards wide. But that's him. That sums up his Celtic career.
To be honest with you, right, Celtic fans will be gloating over that goal, rightly so. I thought his first goal was brilliant, right? Because as a striker watching, you're looking at the centre half, he's looking at the ball. Maeda's only looking at the timing of the cross coming in, and he gets in there. I think that as a striker, looking at that as a striker, that's a brilliant goal.
Scott, how did it look from the stands?
It was incredible. I actually felt like the ball was in there for a long time, and you just seen it nestle in that far corner, and the place erupted. But it's an instinctive one, isn't it? It sets up for himself. How can I get a shot on target? But incredible finish. It'll be one of the goals I think will be remembered around Celtic Park if they were to win the title, but there's no going to be for it. You all see the fantastic goals when the sun's shining. It was, and I agree with Daz. I think the one before that as well. It's so good from a striker, just the movement in the box. He's always alive, and the ones he does go through 1-on-1. I don't think he ever looks really confident. It's the ones where he's not getting much time to think about. He needs to show a bit of intuition. But there's no going to be for it. He was the hero of the day for Celtic.
Who would have thought that Glasgow would be the overhead kick capital of the footballing world? Because that's kind of what it is. Hampden, Celtic Park.
Sums up this amazing season.
Chermites? I don't know why I've had a mind blank. That was Ibrox, wasn't it? There you go. This is the city of the overhead kick.
Yeah. The only problem with Chermites was it didn't win the match. But Dyson Maeda, I think, brought Celtic Park to a new level of enthusiasm, excitement, adoration, call it what you will. The Celtic fans, I think, cannot believe this afternoon what's going on, because they have been in a state of anguish all season. The calls that we have taken here, the incredible goings on, the AGM that couldn't even finish because it was disrupted by bad behaviour. They've had an unbelievable season, and I genuinely mean it. If Martin O'Neill wins this title, there will be a statue of Martin O'Neill outside Celtic Park.
I think today wins them. I said it. Yeah. I said it at the beginning of from yesterday. I thought.
So you think they'll beat Motherwell and then beat Hearts?
Yeah, I do. I just think the writing's on the wall. I thought that. I said before I left here, I didn't fancy Hearts to go down the M8 back home with all 3 points last night, and it 1-1, and it was massive for Celtic today. And I know that Fir Park will be difficult. We all know that. We know the style of football Motherwell play. And if they take that to a last game, I just think it's done.
Chris, how confident are you? I mean, I don't know. Out of 10, what's Celtic's title prospects looking for you?
About an 8 or a 9 now. I mean, obviously, if you'd asked me the same question back in, December, it would have been 1. But, now obviously I think Martin's done a terrific job. And all we've now got to do, as I say, is go to Fir Park, get a result, win that, beat Hearts, you win a title. You know what I mean? It's great that we know what we need to do. Just go, even if it's 1-0. I really don't care if it's scrappy 1-0. I'll take that as long as we get the title at the end of the day.
What percentage chance would you give Celtic now?
I put
go up to 1.
About 75.
Oh, what an improvement that is. Thank you to Chris. What about Derek in Sandy Hills? Hi, Derek.
Hi there, how you doing?
Good, Derek. Where are you? Yeah, I'm disappointed with myself because I asked the caller out of 10 and then asked for a percentage from Hugh. So you can use whatever measurement you want. How confident are you Celtic win the league from here?
Oh, very. I always have been very confident.
Seriously, all along.
Talking about, everyone's talking about how great it will be for Scottish football if Hearts win the league. But the flip side of that is, if they don't win it, then they pretty much let us take on a manager who was our worst in history, make an absolute disaster of a dozen games, and we still come back and win it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there will be a bit of that, but at the same time, let's not be too romantic about this. You still start with a multi-million pound advantage over Hearts. So I don't know. Let's not go too far on the criticism of Hearts. I think that's a wee bit unfair, no?
Yeah.
By the way, they might still win it.
The only thing is that this season, and we've gone on about how unique, how invigorating, how exciting this season has been. I would dearly love to have a winner-takes-all final game at Celtic Park. I think the interest in that game would be through the roof.
For Scottish football, that'd be unbelievable. Listen, we can't write Hearts off. Hearts are still in a really good position. Celtic have put themselves in a brilliant position with the result today. I think a lot of the Celtic fans are right in what they're saying with regards to it's in their hands now. If they go and beat Motherwell and then beat Hearts, it's exactly what they wanted. They've done part of the job, but there's still a big job to do. There's still a huge job for Celtic to do. They've got to beat Motherwell and then obviously go and beat Hearts. So I would love it if it's a blockbuster finish and we've got a winner-takes-all game next weekend. That would just, for Scottish football and the interest, would just be phenomenal.
Kind of going round them all here, Scott. Where's your certainty, if that's the right word, or your thoughts on Celtic? Gordon Dalziel thinks that's it. Thinks today won them it. Would you go that far?
No, I think I'll reserve judgment till during the week. I think.
You're going to wait to full time on the last day?
No, I'm going to wait till
one game
night.
to go. Right, okay.
Yeah, one game to go, and then I'll go. I just think I fancy Hearts to do the job at Tynecastle against Falkirk, and I just think Motherwell, out all the teams in the league, they are capable of throwing something up and producing something with Jens Bertel Askew. So I still think that's a difficult game. I really do. I'm just watching Maeda. By the way,
what's he doing, running up and down the stand or something?
He's got his kid pressing, who's about 4-year-old. Incredible stuff. I just want to ask you if you've seen the Alistair Johnson tackle back.
Don't you worry, we're getting an hour left. I'm absolutely certain we're going to argue about refereeing decisions.
Scott,
you three, what do you think?
Scott, I said at the time it was reminiscent of the tackle on Alistair Johnson at Easter Road exactly a week ago, and I think Alistair Johnson got away with one today.
The answer isn't simple, because it never is. The question's quite simple. Did that have the excessive force required for a red card?
Well, obviously they didn't think so.
What did you think?
We all missed it. I think I'm with Hugh in this. I think he's very, very lucky because he's high.
What do you think, Cammy? Because there's the height thing is like obviously an indicator, but also refs everywhere would tell you can't get in a scenario where every high contact ends in red, so it's more about the force of it. And by the way, that's not me saying it doesn't have the force. I'm asking your opinion. I'm trying to get the framework down for it.
Yeah, no, listen, I think he's very lucky when you look at probably maybe a factor that the referees have looked at, that he's actually made contact with the ball, which has nothing to do with it, but also kind of rides his foot up a little bit. And is the force sort of lessened because he makes contact with that ball and it's not just a direct force into the foot? So again, possibly that's what they've looked at.
Right, so 141 951 1025. We'll take more of your calls when we return.
You are the voice of Scottish football. Call 0141 951 1025. Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Hugh Keevins, Cammy Bell and Gordon Dalziel are in the studio. Scott Allan still at Celtic Park. We'll need to let him go soon, I would suspect, but we'll keep him for now in the aftermath of Celtic 3, Rangers 1, in a game that very much boosts Celtic's title aspirations and not only kills off Rangers' title hopes, but means they are destined to finish third as well. So we're poring over it. We've been talking about what it means for Danny Rule, what he got wrong today and so on. And on the flip side, Martin O'Neill, is he the one that inspires Celtic at the moment? We'll hear from both of these managers pretty soon as well. Andrew Maclean has been speaking to them, and what a week we've got in store.
It's been building up, but we never actually thought we would be 2 games away from the possibility of the championship final at Celtic Park, Celtic versus Hearts. If Celtic can do their job against Motherwell at Fir Park, you have to think that the manner of today's win for Celtic sends them to North Lanarkshire in an incredibly optimistic but not overconfident state. But I think the Dalziel made a goal has lifted everything for Celtic.
The good thing is we knew this already, to be fair, not after today, but it's guaranteed that it still can be done on the last day. Either way, that's going to be a showdown one way or the other.
Yeah, for a neutral, and I agree with the boys, I think we'd all be dying to sit here next Saturday and see that happening at Celtic Park against Hearts, obviously. I've got a funny feeling it could, because I fancy Hearts to beat Falkirk at home. But I do think that Celtic going along, and I'm going to go to the game on Wednesday night, I'm looking forward to it. I think that Celtic, because of the situation, it will be difficult against a good Motherwell side. I just think Celtic will have the bit between their teeth and win that.
That's what I'm saying, Cammy. Even if if Celtic win and Hearts even were to lose midweek, Hearts could still beat Celtic on the final day and win the league. So it's guaranteed that it's not.
Yeah, Celtic need to get a result, obviously, up Motherwell if Hearts were to win. Am I right in saying that? Yeah. So Celtic need a result up Motherwell on Wednesday
sorry, of
night.
course. Yeah. I was looking at it more from Hearts' perspective.
Yeah, no, but listen, you would expect after today, Celtic are very confident going into that game. At Motherwell, it will be very, very difficult. We know how good they are. They'll be organised. They'll want to finish the season on a high, of course they will. But what's riding on it for Celtic? You've got to believe that they would go there and get some sort of result. They'll be looking for all 3 points, of course they will.
The last time Rangers were at Celtic Park, they won 3-1. Today's scoreline in reverse. The Celtic fans were protesting outside the ground, and a matter of hours later they sacked Wilfred Nancy. Now look, and there can only be one person responsible for that. That's Martin O'Neill.
See, just quickly though, ahead of Wednesday, we'll preview the game as the week goes on. I wonder if we're leaning too much into the notion of just because the incentives there, because everything that Celtic go to for Park with, Hearts went with last night.
Yeah.
Hearts had just come off the back of beating Rangers.
Yeah.
Before that, it was an Edinburgh derby, driving seat for the league. Celtic might win the game, I don't doubt that, but this notion that just kind of, just because it's there for them means that you win the football match, because Hearts had all that last night.
Yeah, and the last time Celtic played at Fir Park, they were embarrassed. They were outplayed, outfought, outthought, out everything by Motherwell and Jens Bertel Asker. It was an embarrassment for them. But I keep on repeating, look at it now.
Dougie's on the line. Hi, Dougie.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, very well, Gordon. Thanks for asking. What a season, eh?
Unbelievable. What are you thinking?
Unbelievable. So, yeah, I'm kind of torn here. I used to play for Motherwell, and I'm really desperate for Celtic to get a result on Wednesday, being a big Celtic man now.
No, hold on, can I guess here?
Hold on,
no, don't. I'll guess. Did you play centre forward?
I did.
No way.
Were you quite small?
Yeah, in what department are we talking?
Yeah, I know what department. Is your second name Arnott?
It is.
Oh, I'm still
What a player this boy was, by the way. How are you, sir?
Brilliant. Honestly, I'm speechless. We're famous in my circles.
Do you remember?
That would be if you take my age, that would be the first Motherwell player I was aware of. So probably too young to really see in your pulp. Sorry, Dougie, but that would be the first name I could have ever told back. So there you go. Yeah. What do you mean you're torn, Dougie? Anyway, where's your loyalty?
Well, I'm a big Celtic man, so
they won her with Fiji.
Too, and I really don't know, but I want to. It's unbelievable how Martin O'Neill has brought that team back into this, and there they are. And watching that today, I was emotional, but then I'm thinking to myself, going to Fir Park when I used to play, and I scored 12 goals against Celtic and 12 goals against Rangers, so I get it from both of them.
Can't argue with that record.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that the boys can do it on Wednesday, but it'll be a great game, great season, and the phone-ins have been fabulous this year as well, boys.
It's been a bit lively. What would you put this kind of down to then? Everybody just seems the obvious is Martin O'Neill. Has that been the difference maker for Celtic to get them back to where they are?
Gordon, I think that's the only difference, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. The only man that could have turned that around is Martin O'Neill. The way he's done that is unbelievable, with the resources that he's had, and when we see Monty coming in, it's just incredible what he's done, and he's an actual saint, the man. It's unbelievable.
Dougie, take your mind back to Helicopter Sunday. It was the blackest day in Martin O'Neill's professional career, and Martin O'Neill for the last 21 years has probably been thinking, I would love to go back there, and he's got the chance on Wednesday night to go back to Fir Park and put a down payment on the title. How emotional will you be then?
I know. This is what I mean by torn, Hugh. This is what I mean by torn. It's one of those things. Even back then, I was slightly torn, but obviously I was gutted for the boys, being a Celtic man myself. I'm hoping Martin O'Neill can rectify that, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. And Motherwell have been absolutely incredible this year. They've probably played the best football that any team has played in the whole league, especially the Rangers game last week. I mean, I was watching that, cheering my heart out, watching the boys score their goals. It was just phenomenal. So, yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving the way that the way Scottish football is progressing now, and Heart's been there, and everybody seems to be contributing to it, and it's good to see. But I hope the Celtic do it, I really do.
But listen to that, a man who scored 24 goals against Celtic and Rangers across his career.
Well, listen,
just taking the time to pick up the phone.
Scott McDonald scored 2 goals for Motherwell to cost Celtic the title, and was a Celtic player the following season.
Dougie Arnott, thank you very much for giving us a call. So this show just throws up random surprises now and then, doesn't it?
The minute I seen his name in Curluck, right, and he says, I used to play, I knew right away who it was. And by the way, what a fantastic footballer it was. Great striker.
One for 90s football fans everywhere. Ross is on the other line. Hi Ross, were you ever a professional footballer or no?
I've got the same name, but that's the best I can go to.
Same surname?
Same surname,
seriously?
Yeah.
It's a strange afternoon. Anyway, what are you thinking as a Celtic fan after that?
Honestly, I can't believe we're sitting here and we're actually right in the mix of this title race again. A few weeks ago, I had it written off and I thought it was either going to Tynecastle or Ibrox. I didn't think we were anywhere near it. And how Martin O'Neill has managed to bring us back into this, I'm still in shock, but I think watching the game last night, I don't think Wednesday will be any manner of means easy for Celtic, and that's the one I'm concerned about in Wednesday. That's the bit I'm still not sure.
This is not to demean it in any way, Scott Allan, but just more thinking about what the style is, because everybody knows the backstory now. It came from Wilfred Nancy to Martin O'Neill. Well, Martin O'Neill first, but you know what I mean. The almost like the simplicity, the basics, whether it's the man management, the making the crucial little tweak here and there, not worrying about over elaborate stuff. Is that what we're really seeing the strength of Martin O'Neill?
Yeah, I think he simplified the game for his team. Nancy came in, he obviously had his favourite formation. The questions were asked how that was going to look within this Celtic team. You obviously seen the aftermath of that, resulting in Nancy getting the sack, and then Martin O'Neill, I think then when you come in, it's just about simplifying the game, getting wingers wide and putting balls in the box, and that's what he done very early on in his tenure. Then there started to be questions when they couldn't quite find that little bit of cutting edge in the final third, and it's still been there. It's the reason why everybody's been talking about that striker position. At the same time as that, Callum McGregor, Dyson Maeda, Kieran Tierney, at times they weren't in the best of form. But what a team who, especially guys like Callum McGregor, who have won titles year in, year out, they start to find that rhythm, they start to find a way to win games, and ultimately sometimes football doesn't have to be overcomplicated. It's just about making the opposition teams defend, and Celtic have definitely done that, and at the same time they've been a bit better defensively. There's no getting away from that. So I think today, looking at it, Maeda, yes, individually will be spoken about alongside Engels. I thought was excellent in the middle of the park, but Maeda for the goals. But I just felt collectively Celtic looked a much stronger team than they had done in recent weeks.
I'm thinking about Dougie Arnott said about emotion, and the supporters were extremely emotional today. Television showed one lady crying when Dyson Maeda made it 3-1. Celtic have to deal with emotion as well as the game itself when they go to Fir Park, because they're 90 minutes away from a title decider. The crowd are now in a highly emotive state. The players have somehow got to rise above all of that and play their game, because I accept that Motherwell wasn't great in the second half last night, but I thought their football first half was outstanding.
See what I think's missing a little bit, and rightly so. Martin O'Neill's getting all the credit in the world. I think the players deserve a lot of credit. This is a bunch of players that was getting slaughtered left, right and centre, and Hugh quite rightly says it, and probably I thought at one point as well, absolutely no chance this team can win the league. As much as Martin O'Neill, he's still got to depend on them when they go out on the pitch. And the character they've showed, I totally agree with Scott. I thought today they were very good. In the last couple of weeks, I think there's a sort of a sharper look about them, a hunger, a desire. As much as everybody talks, and rightly so, and this manager is brilliant, he's got to depend on those players with big characters, big hearts, to go out and win these big games.
It's part of his job, though. I think what he's done is he's came in there, the players were on the floor. They were, as you say, they're getting slaughtered, they're getting a hard time of it, they're not getting results, under a huge amount of pressure. he puts belief into these players. He starts getting them to believe they're good players again and a good team. He brings that togetherness, and that's where they've got. That's why they are where they are. They've got these players again. McGregor, Tierney's been outstanding since Martin Neil's came in. You can see the progression in his game. He's a real leader on the pitch. He's a guy that you can rely on. So I just think he's brought a real belief back to the players. They look as if they're enjoying their football again under this huge pressure that they're under, but they also know there's a title at the end of it.
The biggest turnaround of all, Ross, is the 0% chance to 75% chance that Hugh Keevins is now giving Celtic. How confident do you feel this does end in title success?
90%.
Oh,
I think there's a 10% doubt regarding going to First Park on Wednesday. I think if we get by Wednesday, we win. I'm fairly confident getting to that Hearts game that we get the job done. But right now, I'm 90% that we would win the league. But listen, this season has thrown up so many spanners. So listen, I'm not surprised if there's another twist to come here. But honestly, I just don't know if my heart rate can take it.
It's funny because I'm personally not quite sure how to feel on this theory throughout the season, where people always say Celtic have proven winners, that's what will get them over the line. And I just always wondered because, well, yeah, but they're not proving it coming from third place. Do you know what I mean? They're not proving that having survived. What they're proving that is hitting the front early and staying there. So I wondered if it was a different challenge. However, to then go back on that ever so slightly, maybe this is the time when when you can smell it that they really are going to be able to.
As I say, I give you so many examples of compare and contrast. Rangers at Celtic Park, 3-1 for Rangers. The crowd outside baying for blood. The manager sacked. Celtic at Motherwell before that. The crowd turning on the manager. Motherwell comprehensively outplaying Celtic. Celtic have been in the depths of despair this season for one reason or another, and are now on the verge of, in Celtic's history, what I would argue would be possibly the greatest ever title win.
There's different ways of looking at it, isn't there? I mean, you go and win one and don't lose a game and are outstanding and dazzle from start to finish. It will certainly feel one of the most satisfying, you would imagine.
Oh yeah, definitely. Again, the roller coaster that Celtic fans have been through, if they can do it, the roller coaster that they've been through, everything Hugh's mentioned a lot, the disruption from the fans to the board and people wanting them to get sacked, the change of management, every disruption that could have happened has possibly happened this season for Celtic. So if they can get the job done, I think a lot of fans will look back over the season and think this is one of the greatest achievements. Again, I'll put towards it, I don't think it's a strong squad either, but Martin O'Neill's getting a real tune out of them at this moment in time.
Because I've always, Gordon, again, found it probably inappropriate to blame the injuries because you're Celtic. Look at your budget compared to the rest of the league, Rangers aside. But it's another factor, at least, to add to what Cammy's said. So again, it's finding that right amount, add the injuries to the boardroom disruption, the fan disruption, the managerial change, the fact that other players are out of form. I don't think you can, if Celtic don't win this league, I don't think you can say, it's all down to the injuries. But I suppose it's worth considering they've had to deal with that as well.
Yeah, you just see the sort of reaction when Alistair Johnston, for instance, big time player for them, missed a lot of football this season. He comes back. See the minute you see the opposition see the name in the team sheet, all of a sudden it gives you, even the Celtic in the dressing room gives a lift. They have missed big players, but you're right, Gordon, I've got a massive squad. Where I think that Celtic would take all the plaudits, simple. I think even Celtic fans, for the first time in a long time, would have probably written off Celtic's chance of winning this league. And they've come back, and right now, for me, it's firmly in their own hands to go and do it.
Thank you to Ross. Thomas, on the other side of the emotional scale, though, Thomas, as a Rangers fan, what are you thinking now?
Hi, Gordon. Well, what I think is today was the final nail in Danny Rowe's coffin. Because when I look at the Rangers team, and I know at the outset, I will hear the old record that he brought Rangers back from the brink kind of thing. But again, this isn't a surreal season where you have Celtic losing 8 games and still in with a chance to the league. It was a topsy-turvy season, and he brought us back, but that in itself is not enough. He's not established the team going forward. He's got no formation. There's no leaders in the team. He doesn't have a leader. and I include the manager in that. He doesn't lead from the front. I watched his interview today after the game. The first thing that annoyed me about it was no apology to the fans, no acknowledgement of the fans whatsoever. There was no apparent anger. It was cliche after cliche, basically. His team itself has got no formation. His defence is absolutely woeful. Now, I would love Roger Hannah to be in the show because I would like him to say, because of his knowledge, when was the last time Rangers lost 3 goals in 3 consecutive league games? I don't mean lost 3 games, I know that was in Dick Advocat's era, but lost 3 goals in 3 consecutive games. No leaders, no formation, defence, which we can't play along the back line because it's suicidal. We don't have the defenders to do it. We don't have Goff and Butcher anymore. But we persist in playing in our own half. The player who gets most touches in that Rangers team is Jack Butland. Constantly pass back to him, even right from the kickoff, and that's the way it continues thereafter. And that's where I think the problem is. He has got no formation and he panics. Contrary to that, you look at Martin O'Neill at half-time. I think Celtic will win the league, and I've said that for quite some time, and it's all down to the Martin O'Neill factor. Martin O'Neill shows leadership qualities, how to lead, how to manage his players, how to get the best out of them. And I'm not saying that we're looking for a manager like Martin O'Neill, but you're looking for that type of manager that can get the best out of a bad squad of players.
What do you think on that, Scott Allan? Because the 2 up front was supposed to be the magic formula for Rangers, and then I know that Nadiri's had his injuries. Then it feels like it has worked sometimes, hasn't worked others. Is Danny Rule a bit in between?
He is in between, and the players are in between. Looking at the terms of consistency, it never makes for a good watch. That's the truth of the matter. I think Danny Rule, you can touch on today about formation, playing along the back. I do think Fernandes and Giga can play along the back. My problem is the guys in front of them, in between the 4 at the back and the 2 in the middle of the park. There's nothing of real structure and anything in patterns that you can see Rangers doing week in, week out. So that then leads to guys taking the ball and then not having an option, and then Celtic can go and press. But if you look at the last 2 Celtic games before today, one at Ibrox, 2-0 up in the game, second half, Martin O'Neill brings on Hatate, drops him down, he starts controlling the game. Danny Rule didn't have the answers that day. Rangers offered nothing in that second half. You then look at the League Cup game, where they then going out in penalties. Celtic 8 first team players missing that day, and hardly lay a glove on them with the disallowed goal. So the big games and what he's been asked to come up with something, whether that's between him or the player, but you've got to take it as a collective. He's just been nowhere near good enough, and I think it'll be very hard for any Rangers fan to accept finishing this season with the investment trophyless, and for me, trophyless and not coming away in big games with good performances. It's not good enough. Finishing 3rd in the league behind Hearts and Celtic, it'll be very hard for them to accept. Quite a profound note to end on. We'll let you go and head off into the sunshine. Thank you, Scott Allan. He's about to get locked in or chucked out at Celtic Park, I don't know which, so we'll let him go, and we'll thank Thomas as well. Plenty of time though for you to get your calls in, so let's do it. 0141951 1025. We've actually not done too much on those big calls, the big refereeing decisions that were involved today. So if you want to get your opinions in, you've got loads of time to do it, so please do, and we'll hear from the managers as well when we return.
Number 1 for football in Glasgow and the West. 0141 951 1025. Clyde 1 Super Scoreboard.
Cammy Bell, Hugh Keevins, Gordon Dalziel, all still here to take your calls. Loads of time left. We always do the long phone in after the game on a day like this, and it has proven to be worthwhile so far because we've had a lot of interesting stuff. Maybe there's something in the fact that the big picture is taking over here, because quite often all we get wall-to-wall calls about refereeing decisions in a game like that, but genuinely not seen many flash up on my screen. So there's time to change that if you're that way inclined. 0141951 1025. Let's do that, and we'll hopefully hear from the managers very soon. In fact, we could do that to set the tone. Let's go for the victorious manager first, Martin O'Neill. Just general thoughts on the game.
Today, I thought there was some fabulous stuff being played. The crowd, of course, played a big part. I thought they were really terrific. Carried us along at a time when Rangers were in the ascendancy. But the criticism, I'm not worried. It'd be nice to start a season, get your own thoughts together, your own plans, all that type of stuff. and lay out plans for the whole season. Wasn't to be, but we've been playing catch up. That's the thing, and we're still playing catch up. So I don't know. Maybe they might extend the season for us to catch up.
And these are the thoughts generally of Danny Rule.
Yeah, I'm honest, it's a tough one. Yeah, you come with a lot of confidence until the point, and then very ambitions. You are prepared for the split, and then you go to the first game, you go to the second and the third, and finally you lost all the three, and that's then not enough for what we want and where we want to go.
Andrew is a Rangers fan. What have you got for us, Andrew? What made you call?
I was just phoning. It's just been for the past maybe since the split. It's been refereeing decisions. Even for I'm a Rangers fan, but even for the Hibs game against Celtic, that handball, it shouldn't have been a goal, and then the penalty, if it was a Stonewall penalty, and then the day Celtic should have had a man sent off the first half, and then even the second half, he booked Tierney, and it should have been Alistair Johnston. It would have had a second yellow. The decisions are shocking.
It's a nice tone from Andrew, because to be fair, on Old Firm Day, he's calling up to say Celtic were hard done by last week, so it's an interesting start. Just kind of for time, let's walk through today's, if you like. Andrew's mentioning he thinks Alistair Johnston should have been sent off. Take it away.
Correct.
Definitely off for you.
Yeah.
Excessive force.
Yes.
I think it's one in between for me. I think because I mentioned it before, he touches the ball, there's a bit of force there, so it could have been a red card, yes.
Yeah, a sort of a dark yellow to a light red. Sitting in the fence with that one, I thought he was lucky to get away. Put it this way, if he'd get a red card for it, I wouldn't be sitting here complaining.
This is what always muddies it. It's everyone's frustration in the VAR era, and unfortunately this is not limited to us. Does it change your thought because the on-field decision is yellow?
Yeah.
So if the on-field decision was red, it's not getting overturned, is it?
No.
You're never watching that back and saying that's not a red to overturn it. Is it whatever you said, a dark yellow enough that the on-field decision
Nick
stands
Walsh
then?
obviously
we've not heard the comms yet.
No, Nick Walsh would have had the conversation of what he's seen and the force that he's seen with obviously the VAR officials, and again they must have confirmed that what he's explained that he's seen is the exact same, and that's why they've not interfered and taken him to the screen. So I think the touching the ball does make a difference with regards to
the force.
Yes, to the force.
Right.
Not anything in the decision, but I think it slows the force of the tackle up a little bit.
The other one Andrew mentions, I did think about this at the time, but you have to assume, just because we've not heard, I don't think Nick Walsh gets the wrong man or anything. I assume he thinks that Romans is the instigator of that tussle, so he books him, doesn't book Johnson, and he books Tierney for whatever Tierney came over and said to him. I guess. I mean, that until somebody can contradict that, because Andrew's saying it shouldn't have been Tierney.
Yeah, I can remember the incident, and Johnson, I don't know if it was Tierney that went over and the scuffle started to happen after the incident. I think, certainly from what I seen, Alistair Johnston, he was shielding the ball out, it went out for a goal kick, and then there was a little bit of afters between Romans and a number of players. Whether Alistair Johnston did anything to deserve a second yellow card, I've not seen that yet, but I think for me that the yellow card came to Tierney because I don't know if he was one of the first ones over to then be in that scuffle.
Would have been a big moment in the game, Andrew, the Alistair Johnson one. Is that the thing that sort of stings the most out of them all?
It just looked like, in a way, that referee was just looking for another player to book because he knew he was going to get a second booking to Johnson. The decisions are just like, it's mind-boggling a bit, I think, man. Even like yesterday with the Hearts game, the decisions are a wee bit shocking with the refereeing, and that's how many of them are going to the World Cup.
Well, that's a kind of sweeping generalisation in there, but
I think there's more of a kind of boring answer to that. And funnily enough, Nick Walsh, he's our only, I don't know the terminology, he's the only one on FIFA's elite category or something of our refs, and he only got added to that in December. So we were never in a position to get one of the refs to the World Cup.
I thought Hearts should have had a penalty, but the referee's gone, had to look at it again. And how many times have we condemned referees when they go and they think, oh, I must have got that wrong, and they overturn their own decision? Well, Stephen Maclean wasn't of a mind to overturn his own decision, so this is VAR. You have to go on.
I think this is where it is quite beneficial, Gordon, to hear the communications. Whenever you get, I can't remember when the date is, but there'll be another VAR roundup before the end, because I know fans do just care more about, is it right, is it wrong, in their opinion, but you kind of, at least you find out just a bit more. So last night, as an example, if Stephen Maclean's initial thought is, I've seen the contact on the foot there and I don't think it's enough, and then VAR says, no, but, you think we've made a clear and obvious error, come to the monitor, and he comes and says, that's what I saw in the first place. I saw the contact, I don't think it's enough. Now, we can all argue about it. I think you all think that was a penalty.
I
last
thought it
night?
was a penalty kick, yeah.
But yeah, it gives you a bit more of a kind of, well, kind of fair enough. Since the dawn of time, refs have been asked to kind of make
how many times have we said in this programme since VAR come in, I wish the referee would go over there and stand by his decision and him referee the game rather than VAR referee the game.
You can't have it both ways though, because ultimately you try to get it right.
Yeah,
at the
exactly.
same time.
Listen, and Steve McLean went over there, he had a look at it and thought, no, I'm happy with my decision. That's good, that's fine. Listen, I don't agree with it. I think it's a penalty kick, right? But I'm delighted that our referees went over and been strong enough to say, no, I've seen that in real time. I'm not far away from it. I think that's the right decision, and move on from there. And let's not blame referees for, and I know the caller's talking about referees' fault. I think there's bigger pictures if you're a Rangers fan than referees' fault.
To be fair, I think you can tell that, because we're that hour and a half of fans moaning about the game itself, so I don't think it's all about that, to be fair to any fans. Similarly, the Alistair Johnson one, Cammy, it's important to understand if, like, what has gone on there, or what the process is. So maybe Nick Walsh says, yeah, he's caught him high, I don't think there's enough force.
Yep.
Then it's up to the VAR to say, or to contradict that.
Yep.
And I mean, that's that subjective bit of what you think's excessive force. Gordon might not.
Yeah.
And Hugh might agree with one of you, and I might disagree.
And all referees will probably have a slightly different view on excessive force. And again, they'll be similar, very similar, because they're obviously trained that way to make them decisions of what is excessive force. But again, if the communications are key, and I think what you're saying is right, and listen, we're all going to, nobody's always going to agree with decisions, but if the communications are clear, and Nick Walsh has made it clear what he's seen, and VAR are quite happy with, that's what we've seen as well. We don't see over excessive force in that challenge, whether as I mentioned, the touch in the ball slows up that force or not, that's mentioned. It'll be interesting to see, because I think again it is probably a subjective one that you look at. I think it's borderline. If that was sent off, you probably wouldn't argue it, but even if it is, because it's not sent off, would you pull him over to the screen? I don't think so either.
But for the avoidance of doubt, you all think Alistair Johnson either could or should have been sent off?
Could have.
Yeah,
and
I'm on that.
Okay. There's also an inevitability about this, Hugh, because even once you've taken it so far, I actually thought at the start of the split, there's an Edinburgh derby, one of the big, people were calling it the biggest Edinburgh derby league meeting ever. Hibs got out of 9 men, but nobody actually argued with the decisions, because everybody felt they were fine. There was a huge result when Motherwell went to Rangers and won. We had even the game the other night. Who would have thought Rangers against Hearts at time, Hearts against Rangers would pass with no disciplinary issue? It was inevitable that at some point between, it's almost a law of averages thing, we were going to get something debatable.
Yeah, but we're not unique. You know, that VAR has created this situation in all countries. Some countries have voted to do without it. We have it, and I don't believe that we'll be without it in the foreseeable future. But we have an astonishing league coming to an astonishing climax. And I'm reluctant to overemphasise VAR decisions. You know, Celtic complained to Willie Collum after Easter Road about the Joe Newell handball that resulted in a goal. But at the end of the day, Celtic dusted themselves down and got on with it and won the match. I can only think of the coming week, the games at Fir Park and at Tynecastle on Wednesday, and the possibility of the greatest ever finish to a league season where you have Celtic playing Hearts in Glasgow for the league title. It's astonishing.
Thank you very much to Andrew for bringing it up today. 0141 951 1025. When we return, there is an answer from Danny Rule on his future. What do you make of it? We'll play it to you and you can react when we return.
Tombola presents that winning feeling.
Woo! Get in, honey!
17 million pounds is won on Tombola.
Woo!
Every
hot chocolate
single
Woo! Come on, baby.
day, which feels pretty good apparently. Tombola, more games, more fun, more chances to win. Play now. To verify, add verification at tombola.com. 18 plus, gambleaware.org. Terms apply.
The all-new, all-electric Toyota CHR Plus. Sleek, stylish and quietly reliable. Available with 0% APR representative with £1,500 deposit contribution and save £1,500 with the electric car grant. Get that Toyota electric feeling. Visit your nearest Toyota centre. Price from 34495. Available on Toyota PCP when financed through Toyota Financial Services by 30th of June 2026. Optional final payment. Indemnities may be required. See website. T's and C's apply.
I'm Professor Noel Fitzpatrick, and as a vet, I know you want the best care for your animal companion. Pet insurance can help, but you need to choose wisely as not all policies are the same. Pet Plan aim to pay claims quickly and without a fuss, and that's one reason why so many vets work with them.
Get your pet the best veterinary care. Save 10% on new policies when you insure at petplan.co.uk. T's and C's apply. Fits all media as an appointed representative of Pet Plan Limited.
Tackle the headlines. 0141 951 1025. Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Into the final part of today's Clyde One Super Scoreboard, but the fallout from this afternoon's game is going to continue on, you would suspect, and not for too long, because there's Wednesday going to come and interrupt things as well. We were talking a bit about the refereeing decisions prior to the break. If you want to keep doing that, please do. There must be something in the air, Hugh, because genuinely most people are phoning in. I can see all the hundreds of calls coming in just about the big picture. You never usually get that after an Old Firm game. People want to argue about the refs, the injustice. It's maybe quite telling about where we are collectively, whether it's title chasing, whether it's managerial doubts.
This is Celtic back to 1979, when Celtic had to beat Rangers at Celtic Park to win the league. And the Celtic fans of my age and slightly younger will know that it is now referred to only as the 4-2 game. There is a potential decider to win the league. Celtic versus Hearts next Saturday at Celtic Park. Celtic have to go over a considerable hurdle called Motherwell on Wednesday night, but this for me probably the most dramatic, potentially the most dramatic end to a league season since 1979.
Let's hear from Danny Rule. Of course, he was asked about his future and where this all reflects on him. This was his answer.
General, I think in football, especially in places where you want to be the best and want to win titles, then no defeat helps. Of course. It goes quick in football. This is sometimes also part of the story. I had until now a lot of great moments with the club, and I'm convinced that I will have more of these great moments in the future.
And that's what it all comes down to, because many Rangers fans listening will say, good on you, Danny, and loads of others will say, you've not had that many great moments. What are they? List them. How many can we do?
Only one man's important now, Andrew Kavanagh. And I think he's the type of man who might speak to the Rangers fans in the days ahead, because they're looking for someone to speak to them. And he is the owner of the club, effectively. How Andrew Kavanagh regards Danny Rule is the most important part of the conversation now.
I would go as far as to say, no, for a fact, or whatever the phrase would be, that Andrew Kavanagh really, really, really likes Danny Rule. Now, I know to some people that will sound obvious that he hired him, but I mean, genuinely, there was a proper strong belief there that he's the guy. So it now just depends if that belief has been.
They don't want to make another confession,
because things do change in football.
Well, they brought in Russell Martin, right? They don't want to now put their hands up and say after just one season, oh, we've made two bad mistakes. That's bad leadership. No matter how much money you're putting in, that's bad leadership. So I've got a funny feeling that they'll get to the end of the season and I think they'll go with him for another year. Now, Whether that's right or wrong, time will.
Can't guarantee it's a year though, can you?
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Like start off the
They'll start off the season with him. I think they'll back him. I think they'll give him every opportunity. As you said, Gordon, if there are things behind the scenes that these guys do believe in them, then they'll look at the longer term. That's what these guys do. But if they do get into the summer with him and they back him again, because he had a transfer window there, it was strong, and it's not worked for him, then we're in the same scenario as Russell Martin about a job within months.
Here's one. See the next 2 games?
Yep.
They are meaningless for Rangers up to a point, because nothing's ever truly meaningless.
No.
Is it now stacked against Danny Rule slightly to the point where if he wins the next 2, I don't think there's any celebration amongst the Rangers fans. I don't think they care. However, can his position still get worse by, say, I mean, how could Rangers possibly lose all 5 post-split games? But you know what I mean? If he was to lose again,
yes,
although it's a meaningless game, could you think that could still contribute to the decision?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But winning the games couldn't, in a positive sense.
Listen, I still think winning the games, he's got to win the games. There's no way Rangers can lose their next 2 games. No way. That's unacceptable.
Is the season that crazy that we see the same scenes at Falkirk? Rather Russell Martin.
Oh, for goodness sake.
The season is that crazy.
I think the Rangers fans will only go to Ibrox on Wednesday for the game against Hibs in the hope that Celtic lose at Motherwell.
That's a great point. What's the atmosphere